Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we talk Week 3 in the NFL, sits and starts, and we have got an absolute ton of things to go over about league happenings. Also, we will answer some listener Q&As on the Back Row Fantasy Show starting now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts Jeremy Barker and Aaron Arms.
Hux, I'll try to get you added in there.
Hey, no problem.
But have to get with our girl Aubrey. She does our intros for the show. And we live a little ways apart, so it might take a minute. But hey, welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show. As always, it's Bark to the center. I never say that. I don't know why I did it. Arms to my left.
Good morning.
Sound like a redneck there. And here, Brian I got Brian Hooks on over here to my right.
Hey, what's up?
Shoo, always a fire opening from Hux. Always a fire opening.
Hux, thank you so much for all the excitement you bring to this podcast.
I know. I'm always so excited to be here.
You are the glue that's keeping this whole thing together.
Wow. Thank you.
We actually do need a third host at all times, so it's true. So anyways, thanks for joining us Week 3. We got a lot, and I mean a lot to talk about, so be prepared for a 3-hour minus an hour and a half episode.
I agree.
Yeah, we can't quite go 3 hours. I wish we could, but the hits are going to keep on coming today, so I'm just going to dive right in. Antonio Brown released by the Patriots after sending, yes, very good, after sending threatening texts, apparently. Apparently this dude has never heard of a burner phone, for one, and for two, dude don't care. He's posting Friday memes on his Twitter. You know, he got fired on a Friday. He don't care. He don't care.
Well, he's a giant douche nozzle. So there's that. You know, I would just go and say he won't play another down football in the NFL.
I pray you're right.
At least this year, and honestly, I think he's done. I think he's done.
I hope you're right.
I don't think he's done, but I think he's done this year.
I think he's done. I mean, it's too much to take on. There's only one team that could have handled him had he behaved, and it was the Patriots. And now there's none. I mean, who's next? Who
the
is
only
next
team
if
that's
he
willing
goes
to take
somewhere?
on that big of a character is there's two of them. One's the Oakland Raiders because they're basically the inmates run the asylum, and two, the New England Patriots because they basically control people. And he's now been kept by both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, where else is he going to go? Do you think Jerry Jones wants that kind of crap in his locker room?
No.
That was about it.
No, I mean, you bring up Jerry Jones. If for some reason he would be okay with the crap in the locker room, Michael Gallup's going to be out for a handful of weeks. So if he was to get a chance anywhere, it would still shock me. But I guess you saying that instantly made a tiny bit of sense in my head. But Antonio would
Greg
have to
Hardy.
get right.
That would be why it makes sense.
Right. But Antonio Brown would have to get pretty much cleared of every accusation. It's not going to happen. I mean, there's no accusation to this one. Threatening text to someone who's threatening to take you down on what we assume is truth. There's so much smoke around Antonio Brown. I believe there is fire. So
I obviously I don't know all the ins and outs of it.
Me
but
neither.
At the end of the day, right now, not worth the headache.
No.
He's just not worth the headache.
And I'm not saying with 100% certainty like he did these things, but it is likely that he'd done
It appears likely.
those things.
It appears likely.
It does. So Antonio Brown, he has helped us out with starting an episode every single week.
Thanks,
the
AB.
only small bit of good he has done is given us a talking point to open the show. But then after we talk about it, we just feel dirty.
Yeah. I'm glad we're done with him, hopefully.
Hopefully this is it. So the Patriots now, you know, that was kind of the straw that gave him a full bale of hay on the season. That's a weird analogy, but
That is a very well. First off, there's straws, not in hay.
see,
Hay is something that animals actually eat. Straw is a bedding.
That's how good of
Straw's hollow.
That's how good of a farmer I am. So Patriots are still going to be good. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
They've
This
not
does not
been
hurt
bad.
them. This doesn't hurt them much.
No, not
but
at
it
all.
does. It brings.
I don't think it hurts him at all.
I think it hurts them a tiny bit.
No.
A tiny bit.
Nope.
You don't feel better without AB on the Patriots as an AFC East fan,
No.
like the Bills? No,
They only had him one game.
I know,
mean,
but I mean, would you rather them
They
have
went
had
from
him
Super Bowl favorites to they're still Super Bowl favorites. So
I know, but but I mean, were they Super Bowl favorites and now they're Super Bowl favorites? I mean, a little. I mean, without you have AB, your chances are a little better.
I mean,
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
the talent
I mean,
is
he's exceptionally
top-level
talented.
talent.
I'm just saying, I take a little bit of solace in the fact that now their best wide receiver is Julian Edelman again.
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
Eh. Yeah.
Before
I mean,
we,
Josh Gordon's a good wide receiver.
before we
but
go away from AB, fantasy purposes, what do you do with him in dynasty leagues?
if
Do you let him hold a roster spot?
I'll take a second.
I mean,
If you can get something out of him, you might as well.
I mean, at this point,
I don't want the
do you
headache.
take anything for him in the trade?
I'm not. Listen, you don't take a third or fourth rounder. Honestly, if you have the roster space, like you gun for a first, right?
Well, yeah. I don't.
Find-
Nobody's giving up a first at this point.
Find a team that's struggling and try to get a second out of them.
Right.
I got him in a couple leagues. I'm curious.
I mean, if somebody's going to offer me something, he's gone. Even if that something
I
is
should have
like,
traded
hey,
him after his game last week and just
I mean,
got rid of him.
Even as Dan Carter, a friend of the show, said, like they put up with Josh Gordon's crap.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's just smoking weed.
No, I get it. Like, but there's obviously in the eyes of the league character issues there.
Right. But they would have put up with AB's crap if AB wasn't apparently something.
I'm just saying that's how big this is.
I know, but something that the girl that stepped forward, something in her meeting combined with him supposedly texting threats, like it just became too much. Josh Gordon, it's like it doesn't really become too much. It's like we might as well keep you around. You'll be suspended for half the time that we got you, but chances are you'll always be back. Antonio Brown probably won't be back.
It's crazy.
It is. Let's I want to get to something else too before I forget. I want to talk about the quarterback issues in the league. The quarterback changes.
Hadn't noticed any of them.
and how it affects everyone on those teams. We'll start out. This isn't a change, so to speak, yet, but Marcus Mariota looked god awful Thursday night. Looked like absolute.
So he looked like Marcus Mariota.
He looked like Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
So a quarterback change is coming, in my opinion.
I still don't think it'll be this week.
No,
gonna be like
no,
week 8.
not
I
this
mean-
week. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's coming. Like there's one quarterback issue right from the get go was Thursday night. Mariota put himself right back in the situation he's been in many times, and the Titans got to be questioning: do we roll with this guy, or do we give the guy we traded for a chance and see if he can spark something?
I think they finally have a backup that they can go to
They
and feel
do.
comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I mean, another performance or two like this, he's probably done.
And Tannehill's not going to be much better. I'm not pounding the table like saying Tannehill's going to save this team, but they would be better, in my opinion, a little.
I've never believed in Marcus Mariota. I thought just the system he came from in college, the way he did things, that just run everyone's guts out and keep slinging the ball to just open short routes. That's all Oregon ever really did. I just didn't like what he was coming out. I like James a hell of a lot better. But Jesus criminy, he's never developed.
No.
He's got talent around
They have a
him.
ton of talent
I mean,
on offense there.
A.J.
mean,
Brown, Corey Davis, Adam Humphries, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
It
Delaney
even
Walker.
goes on. Delaney Walker. It's a good team in
I mean,
place.
the talent's there. The defense overall, it's pretty decent defense.
Yeah,
But Mariota's just a bad quarterback.
he is.
And if you can still get a decent value out of him, like I would gladly trade Mariota for like 25 other quarterbacks.
Agreed.
Who runs that offense there? I know it was LaFleur last year, and they haven't looked very good in Green Bay with him there, but I don't know who the
I honestly don't know. I don't follow the Titans enough.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe it's the system. Maybe they just don't know how to use them
See,
right.
I disagree.
I don't think it's the system.
I
don't
don't
think-
know if it is, but I'm just saying.
I mean, we won't know if it's the system or not until another quarterback plays in it.
Right.
So, hopefully we'll see. Dolphins make a change. Going to Josh Rosen, going away from Fitzpatrick. It's not going to matter. The offensive
OC's Arthur
line's
Smith.
terrible. Who?
Arthur Smith.
Arthur's.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. So Rosen, to me, I think this is the wrong move. To me, if you're the Dolphins, you dismantle your team, and I'm on board with it. Miami has not been good for years, And
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Yeah, they have been awful. So they dismantle their team, trade away valuable assets. I was a little angry at first about Laramie Tunzel, but the more I thought of it, like he only has a year or two left on his contract. Go ahead, dismantle it, break it down, build it back up, pull a Browns, hopefully even better than the Browns did. But you get Rosen, you trade a second for him when you know the plan, and now you're going to throw him behind the worst offensive line in football. How is he going to show you that he could be your quarterback of the future? He's not going to be able to. He's not going to have the time to throw. So why do this now? Why? Why not let Fitzpatrick continue to take the pounding?
They're a terrible organization. That's why.
It's a different regime
I mean,
now.
maybe they're wanting to see what they have in this guy before they go draft a quarterback.
How are you going to see it if he's running for his life?
I mean, you can't see if you don't play.
Man, see, I think the plan should have been tweak your offensive line, see if they could gel by halfway through the season, week 8, 9, 10, and if they gel and start playing better, then you throw Rosen in there. But I guess maybe for some reason, maybe in practice they saw the line play better or made an adjustment and the line played better. I don't know. But the only reason to throw him in my opinion, will be if the offensive line shows a little bit more promise than they had through 2 games. So if he gets back there and is under constant pressure, I just don't understand the point. You're taking a quarterback with a great arm, not necessarily a great leader. We don't know if he's going to end up good no matter where he's at, but you're throwing him into a Tim Couch and David Carr situation.
Yeah.
Those guys could have been good in my opinion, but
I think Tim Couch could have been really good.
I think Tim Couch.
Absolutely.
I'm saying like an idiot, but I think he could have been a Hall of Famer if he had a good organization around him.
he definitely could have been good. And this is proven time and time again. Teams get quarterbacks, they throw them behind crap offensive lines, and they suck. And they're like, well, he just sucked. It all starts at the line. Me and Arms talked about this earlier. It all starts at the line. So
I talked about it all the way back to whenever the Giants drafted Saquon Barkley. It starts at the offensive line.
it does.
Look at what the Colts are doing. Right now, the Colts are competitive with their backup quarterback. Like, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, obviously you're better off if they had Andrew Luck, but they're in games and winning. They beat the Titans this week with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, the guy's a starter by injury only ever.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. It's got to start with the offensive line. I mean, Marlon Max looks solid. Like, every skill position is boosted when your offensive line is better.
Yeah, I agree.
And offensive linemen's careers last freaking 15, 16, 17 years. Whereas, a good quarterback's going to do that, but what's the average lifespan of running back in the NFL? Like 3-4 years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and even still, that arc. So, greatness really only goes from about 22 to 30. I mean, that's 8 years.
Unless you're Frank Gore.
Greatness.
Greatness.
I would
Still putting
I
up
would
numbers.
hardly call him great right now.
Okay. He's going to run all over Cincinnati this weekend.
Everybody.
Frank Gore is?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, Breda, Mostert, freaking Fred Wilson Jr., whoever the hell that is, ran all over Cincinnati this
And
past
Singletary's out, so.
Interesting.
week. I mean, Frank Gore's going to be a hell of a cheap play. Should be able to get him for next to nothing.
Jets. Sam Darnold's out a while. Do you want anything to do with any fantasy players? We know we don't want anything to do with Dolphins. We really don't want anything to do with Titans outside of Derrick Henry, Delaney Walker until something changes. The Jets, do we want anything to do with any of their skill position players?
Just Le'Veon Bell.
Just
agreed.
Le'Veon.
Le'Veon. Does Luke Falk become streamable in redraft? Can we
Complete
pick him
wait
up and
and
throw him
see.
in?
Yeah, not this week.
No.
No, not this week.
I
Well,
mean-
maybe they're playing from behind the whole game. The Patriots
still-
might let him
I
get some
still-
garbage time touchdowns.
Listen, Falk. I'm with Falk. The way I look at Falk is the way I look at most of these other quarterbacks. It's worth a waiver claim or a bid. Now Falk is probably one of the lowest bids I would be willing to put in, but yeah, worth a waiver claim.
Cam Newton might be out. Do we trust who is it? Kyle Wright? Is it
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen?
And they have ruled him out this week.
Yeah,
Why the
ruled him out.
hell do you not give Wilger a chance?
Maybe he's not ready. Kyle Allen looked good in relief
Kyle
last
Allen
year,
looked
right?
Good in relief. He knows the offense.
He does. Will Greer will probably get his
Just-
chance eventually.
Just
But
give the kid a chance.
right now, Kyle Allen looked last year. I remember he looked pretty solid. So we'll see. I'm not worried about.
Well, I guess my thought was why draft Will Greer if you don't want him to be your backup quarterback at least.
You got to develop guys.
He obviously didn't win the backup spot in preseason.
Oh, that's probably exactly what happened.
Just saying.
Peach Bellini for the win.
Disagree.
So I'm not worried about their skill position players. I actually think more of a pocket passer in there is going to benefit.
Everything I've been
DJ
reading
Moore.
today is they're expecting the offense to just keep going with Kyle Allen in there.
Maybe even
Maybe
better in
better
the
the way
passing
Cam's
game.
been playing. So.
Right.
Well, with that being said, I mean everything that Cam Newton is known for is done with his legs,
And he hasn't done a bit
and
of
he hasn't done anything
Any of
this
it.
year.
He hasn't.
So, I mean, if you take Cam Newton's passing acumen, he's a below average passer. I think we can all agree on that.
I would say he's average.
average.
Okay, average. I'll whatever. I'll
Gotta
give you.
fight
I'll
back
give you
with you a little
average.
bit.
But okay, if Kyle Allen's just an average guy, that's there's no downtick in anybody. The only difference is maybe you pay more attention on the RPOs to McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think McCaffrey gets 30 touches this week.
Oh yeah,
he should.
I agree.
He should, especially against Cardinals. He definitely should. Giants. Daniel Jones inserted.
It's time.
Eli Manning era is over.
Hate to see it.
Something I wanted to bring up, like I put myself through the torture of listening to things like First Take just because I like hearing about sports, even if it is from someone who yells the whole time about not believing a damn thing you're saying. But they were complaining about Eli Manning getting that $17 million before the season and how it was just the dumbest move ever, and I disagree. I don't think it was a dumb move. I think the Giants knew Eli was washed up, and I honestly think they started him this season just to try to justify what they did, and I think they gave him that $17 million as a courtesy for being a great Giant
yeah, I
for
mean,
all
you
these
gotta-
years.
A two-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, exactly.
He earned
Literally
it.
pulling that team from the dredges of garbage.
Yeah. Eli
Yeah.
Manning earned that $17 million. That was a nice retirement gift, in my opinion. I don't know if he'll retire.
He's not done.
I'm just saying. I think he is. But to me, that was a nice gesture on the Giants' part, and I applaud them for it. I think it was good. Eli Manning has been the perfect citizen in New York.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he's been a great football player and a great attitude. So I think it was well deserved. I think Daniel Jones has a decent amount of weapons to work with, especially when Golden Tate comes back. And I expect Daniel Jones to be serviceable. I think he'll be okay.
I mean, as bad as Eli's played, could it be worse? Technically, yes, he could be Nathan Peterman, but
No.
I don't think it's going to be worse.
I think
Yeah.
Peterman would be better.
I disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
John
that-
Gruden.
I think
is
the
with
offense
me.
is going to look a good bit better.
I agree. So I think you can upgrade Evan Ingram, especially rookie quarterbacks to tight ends. It's a connection we all know about. Golden Tate comes back. I think Golden Tate's going to be very startable.
I think he's going to be force-fed. Golden Tate's going to be drinking through
I
a water
agree.
hose, man.
Right now it's Cody Latimer. Something's not right with that. So,
Sterling Shepard's back this week, so
yeah.
I think he'll be.
I like Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
It continues. We're still talking quarterbacks. The Saints. Is it Teddy Bridgewater? Is it Taysom Hill? Is it a combination?
I think,
Combination is what they were saying they're going with.
yeah, but
That's
I want to see Taysom Hill throw the damn football.
Me
I
too.
do too.
Me too.
As much as I've got the utmost respect for Drew Brees, because he's one of the best to ever do it. I mean, the guy's closing in on every passing record. Like, just see what you got in Taysom Hill. I mean,
agree.
let's stop just treating him like,
He's a playmaker.
let's stop treating him like Cordell Stewart. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's going to play wide receiver this week. Oh, he's going to play running back. He's
I
going
want
to
to see him score a touchdown from all three positions this week.
slash.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see Taysom Hill get the run because, I mean, personally, I've never believed in Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think he's good, and I don't think he's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm with
Like
you. I've never been a believer. I thought he could be serviceable, but why go with serviceable if you've got a guy that could be? I mean, the guy plays as hard, if not harder, than another guy we're going to talk about in Gardner Minshew. I mean, this guy plays his heart out, and he has talent. He can do things with the football. So I'm excited to see if they use Taysom Hill a lot more against the Seahawks.
My biggest concern with, like, if Teddy Bridgewater is your guy, like, his career high for passing touchdowns is 14. He's had a lot of injuries, but that's the most passing touchdowns he's ever had in his career.
I mean,
how many games
he
is
hasn't
that?
played that much.
Yeah,
I think
he really hasn't.
I think he had.
Did he start 1 year?
2014 and 15.
For like half a year.
It's more than that. It's got to be more than that. I don't have the 14 and 15, but the guy's thrown 1 touchdown since 2015.
He hasn't played that much.
Get off of him.
Gotta play to win the game.
Matt Lacoste.
Sorry.
Get off
Matt
of him.
Lacoste. You know,
Matt Flynn, when he got the chance, he threw 7 touchdowns in a
Yeah.
game.
one time in a garbage game against the
Matt Flynn's
Lions,
a Hall
I
of
believe.
Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
That's
something
all
like
you
it.
need. 1 game,
No,
7
all-
touchdowns.
Matt Flynn's agent is a Hall of Famer. That dude got paid.
Yes, Matt Flynn's agent is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Then
No,
Russell Wilson came in and was like,
all
No.
I'm saying is, like, if Teddy Bridgewater's a quarterback, you have to have a massive downgrade for both Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara.
yeah, well,
You
I
might as well
don't think
get-
so with Thomas. I think Bridgewater is.
You might as well get Traquan Smith. Just drop him if Bridgewater's your quarterback.
I agree with the Traquan thing, but Michael Thomas I think will be fine. Teddy Bridgewater plays a Tannehill-like game. Thomas is a reliable possession receiver, short and intermediate. I think MT will be fine if
He's
it's
not going to
Bridgewater.
be a top 5 guy with him.
I think he will.
I don't think top 5. I think you can downgrade that aspect of it, but
I don't.
he's still going to be a top 10 guy.
Like, to me,
Tap 5.
Michael Thomas is that guy who he can challenge for 1. You know what I mean? But not with Teddy Bridgewater as quarterback.
Let's move on.
We'll see what Taysom Hill does. I think Taysom Hill wins the back or the starting job until Brees comes back.
I hope he does. Mason Rudolph. A lot of changes in Pittsburgh this week. Mason Rudolph being the main one. Our boy Den Carter posted an interesting stat. Ben Roethlisberger came in. I don't remember the whole thing, and I don't want to look it up, but he came in the third quarter of the third game of the 13th season of that head coach. Ben Roethlisberger came in Bill Cowher's 13th season, third week, third quarter, never looked back.
Went like 14 and 1 or something like that. 15
They
and 1.
won 15 straight. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So oddly enough,
Lost in
Mason
playoffs.
Rudolph comes in, same exact things, third week, third
week,
quarter,
yep.
13th year as Tomlin of being
Both,
the head coach.
both the elbow injuries.
Both to elbow injuries.
Fluky as hell.
It
Yeah.
is weird
Well,
as hell.
Who did Ben take over? Neil O'Donnell?
Neil O'Donnell.
That's Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox.
Okay.
I think.
Still.
Yeah.
I loved watching those guys. I love Neil O'Donnell.
They were all like so gritty.
Yeah, gritty.
So
That's a good.
gritty.
Goes back to one of our episodes of anyone else. Just gritty.
Very
But
gritty.
but yeah, and then they change. No more Dante Moncrief. He done f that up. So it's it's gonna be Arvin's like the
No,
champion.
he's not a good wide receiver. It's not about whether he's screwed up. He's not good. Week 1, whenever he got targeted like freaking 10 times, he dropped 5 of them. He's bad. He's been bad.
Yeah, he
Anyhow.
sucks. So now it's gonna be Juju in the slot with James Washington.
Excuse me,
and
what's his name?
Juju.
The other one.
James.
There we go. There we go.
James Washington, and then Deontay Johnson is getting his chance, and I probably should wait to get to this, but I think it's a really savvy pickup this week if you're thin at wide receiver. If your draft didn't go the way you wanted it to, I think Deontay Johnson could be a nice little pickup. James Washington hasn't done that much.
You're all correct.
And somebody's going to. Mason Rudolph can sling the rock, and I'm very interested in watching Mason
I'm
Rudolph.
extremely interested in Rudolph as well.
Oh, yeah.
He was the best deep ball passer out of his draft class. He's on a very talented team with a very talented set of skill players. I'm looking forward to that game against the Niners. Niners have looked solid, so it should be a good game.
I posted on Twitter the other day. I think this is
Beach
James
breaks off the
Washington's
Bengals, by
breakout
the way.
week.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
I mean, they have 3 years in college together. They have the rapport already. Him and Rudolph.
I forget that. They are college teammates. It does make a ton of sense.
When has that ever worked, though?
Well, I'm just saying the
Terry-
rapport
no.
is there.
I almost,
No,
said, I almost said Terry McLaurin, but
Somebody
Wade Haskins
and
we won't see that this year.
like Robbie Anderson and somebody played college ball together, something stupid like that, and it was like, well, they were college roommates. Great,
yeah,
good for them.
I feel like it's happened. Listeners, maybe you can answer that. So we'll see. Anything else you want to talk about as far as like news, notes, injuries, takeovers?
Did Watson and Hopkins play together at Clemson? Were they on the same team?
Don't think so.
Hopkins before him?
I think
I know
Hopkins-
Hopkins before him, but
Not
If they
100%
did,
on
it was
that.
like maybe a year.
maybe 1 year.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
That's
feel
the only
like-
thing.
I feel
That's the only
like-
thing that comes to mind.
I feel like there was another. Man, I don't know. What I want to say Seneca Wallace, but I know that's not right.
Wow.
Seneca.
Just somebody very very Watson-like before him. Very mobile.
I will tell you all about a poll we posted on Twitter. Follow us at the Back Row Show. The question is now, is the AB saga finally over as far as his career goes? It is close to split down the middle. 45% yes, 55% no. Just wanted to share that before we got moved on to listener
We're not
questions.
done yet.
Go ahead.
Gardner Minshew.
Thank you. I was actually getting ready to do the same thing because I posted about Gardner Minshew earlier. Twitter needs that edit button so I could add that R in there instead of it being Gardner.
I like it. His name was almost Beowulf. What more do you want out of a man?
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
His grandpa wanted to name him
grandpa wanted
Beowulf.
Beowulf.
I love it so much.
Which-
And he's Gardner Minshew the second, but there is no Gardner Minshew the first.
It should
Shut up.
God, could you
I
have
swear to God, his
That's-
dad's name's not Gardner Minshew.
That's
this,
beautiful.
This man's a legend. His name should have been Beowulf the Odyssey Minshew.
Gardner Minshew, whenever he left for college, told his dad he's the man of the house now.
I love this guy
Dude,
so
this
much.
guy, there's nothing you can't like about this guy.
And I think I speak for everyone that we all want him to succeed and
Oh
be
my
the
God.
long term. I'm so glad I spent money on this
Dude,
guy
he
in all my
looks
leagues.
good, man. He
Oh, yeah, he
looks
does.
good.
He is one of my favorite players in the NFL right now. Not even based on production.
And one of my favorite tweets that I saw this week was Baker Mayfield is nothing more than the great value Gardner Minshew.
Oh no, I saw that. That's beautiful.
And I love Baker Mayfield. Don't get me wrong, but man, Gardner Minshew hype is off the chain right now.
But can we talk a little bit about it? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's thrown two out of his 3 games. He's thrown 2 touchdowns apiece.
Kid's got heart.
He threw 1 in the other. I mean, whenever he only threw 1 touchdown, he tacked on 56 rushing yards. Like, the kid is playing for a career right now, and it shows.
It's working out so far.
Like, I love it, man. And
Yeah.
he's not. I mean, he's got 1 interception. A rookie get thrown in with what most people before the season could very easily say a questionable wide receiving core. A lot of guys with potential with no true star.
Yeah.
But now Gardner, he's producing. Is he producing at like a, Mahomes level? No, but man, he looks fine. He looks like a very streamable option.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like
definitely.
an NFL starting quarterback.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
And
easily.
he
looks-
also looks like the coolest porn star in the world before and after every game.
He also stretches in his locker or in the locker room with nothing but a jockstrap on. This is actually true. And what else did he do? He was offered an endorsement by a porn website. Like, dude, take the job, take the endorsement, because you may not have a job next year. I hope you do. I hope you're the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but take the endorsement, man.
I don't know.
I wish I could remember which website it was.
XNXX.
It's not that one, but that's dude. I love it. I love Gardner Minshew. So
Did you see the meme?
I walk away for like 10 seconds to get a drink, and you faltered, Arms. What happened there? You're like,
sorry,
I was trying to look up a
I
meme.
got a little piece of dry skin
Screw
on my
you,
nose,
Lex.
and it started irritating me. I
What?
apologize.
It's
You're
a
dead.
funny meme.
You're
Did you
dead
see
to
the
me.
meme with with Uncle Rico, Napoleon, it's Minshew, Foles?
yes.
Dude,
yes.
it's good stuff.
Good.
The first after his first start, I saw one that said Uncle Rico finally made it to the NFL.
I love it. I'm really pulling for Gardner Minshew. Gardner. And I hope it works out. So Are you ready to get on to some listener Q&A? There's not a ton. We should be able to get through it pretty quickly and start talking some starts and sits.
Absolutely.
So we've got Lambert, part-time host of the show as well, even though he seems perfectly content in letting Hux roll with this and him just sitting out. So to that, Lambert, we say screw you. Does Cam being out this Sunday hurt the other weapons in that offense? Luckily, we talked about this just a tiny bit already. I honestly think it upgrades all those weapons. Maybe not so much McCaffrey in the passing game, because I kind of believe that Kyle Allen's going to go down the field to DJ Moore,
I agree.
Curtis Samuel. So I don't think it's great for McCaffrey, but McCaffrey's going to be fine no matter what anyways. So I think it upgrades him. We kind of touched on that earlier. So any other quick opinions on that one?
No, I think, like you said, I think it they keep rolling. I mean, they're not rolling, but I think they get better. I love Curtis Samuel this week.
Seagrams.
I've got him in one of my lineups.
If you like
Actually, I have him in several of my dynasty lineups, and I will not take him out.
You got one for each hand.
Dude, this is Calypso Colada. It's so delicious. Okay, Just Me, FF, one of my favorite guys that follows us on Twitter. Very interactive. Thanks for that. RB handcuff rankings could be fun. Some backups have flashed. Some starters have sputtered. Who do you prioritize? We will get to that question at the end of the show, just because we'll do a little on-the-fly research, because off the top of the head at the moment, not going to happen. The Calypso Colada has got me. So, B-League, our boy Dan, writer for the Back Row Show. How many touchdowns is Danny Dimes dropping this week? 4 or 7? Daniel Jones is who he's talking about, as if you didn't already know.
So those are my only options.
That's it.
I'll take the under.
I'm passing on the options, and I'm going to go 2.
I'm going to go with 2.
I'm going to go 3.
Nice.
They lead them to a win.
Let's not get carried away.
They play Tampa Bay.
Oh, touche.
I'll still go 2.
Tampa Bay did beat Carolina.
Saquon Barkley's going to rush for 1. Daniel will throw for 2. One of them might be to Saquon, but
So what you're saying is it's worth paying up for Saquon in DFS.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
anyhow.
absolutely. Against Tampa, yeah, 100%. Fantasy Fuel Podcast. My boy John Eddy, he says, IDP question: would anyone on the Eagles take a big jump in your rankings if they traded for Jalen Ramsey?
No.
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 I just there's no one that is talented enough on that defense to
That
make
would be
a
the only
huge
star
jump.
on the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. That it's just all around. It's a solid football team. With the defense has never had a superstar. Well, I mean, it has in the past, but in the past few years, hasn't had a superstar on it. It's just a solid, team defense.
Yeah. I mean, whoever the opposite corner is, I honestly can't tell you off the top of my head who the other cornerback would be, but I will say he would take a jump because the ball will be coming his way more, so there'd be more tackle opportunities. I'm not sure who that is. Ronald Darby? Is it Ronald Darby?
I think it is Darby.
You're about to find out.
So if it's Ronald Darby, I guess I do have an answer. It would be him because, they're not going to throw Jalen's way a lot more. It'll go to Darby. He'd probably tack on 2 to 3 extra tackles a game.
Isn't Jalen the right cornerback?
Well, I mean, he's not on that team. It's a theoretical question, but
he only guards one side, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it the right or left? Do we know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
not sure.
So it'd be either Darby or Sidney Jones.
Yeah.
Their safeties are solid to begin with, so neither one of them are going to take a massive jump.
Right.
Jenkins and McLeod.
Yeah, one of those two would tackle on some extra tackles, in my opinion.
I will say Derek Barnett would get a little bit of a bump just for the coverage sacks. Nothing crazy. I wouldn't be jumping him, into my top 5 or anything, but he'd get a little bit of a bump.
I can see that.
I don't hate it. Last question. Terry McLaurin, Nelson Aguilar, or Marquez Valdez Scantling.
T-Mac.
Half PPR.
T-Mac.
Who's the options?
Terry McLaurin, Nelson Aguilar, you can go ahead and throw Aguilar out. Or Marquez Valdez Scantling. Terry
Is that
McLaurin.
the rest of the year or this week or what?
He didn't specify, but half PPR.
Okay.
Either way, it's McLaurin for me.
I'll go Aguilar this week, but McLaurin for the season.
I'll go McLaurin all the way.
Yeah, McLaurin. He's the number 1. They're going to be behind in most cases. And I think we see a breakout from someone in Philly this week, and it's not Nelson Aguilar. We'll get to that shortly. So that was the listener questions. Let me make sure there are no more. I don't believe there are. Someone take it away for me, though, while I'm looking.
All right. I was wanting to touch on some of these. We call them out of nowhere, people that are you just didn't expect to be this high type wide receivers. I've got a couple wide receivers, a couple quarterbacks. And so I'll start with the one from the game last night, DJ Chark.
DJ Chuck.
So he's averaging 92 and a touch a game. He's not leading the team in targets, but he's leading them in yardage.
Efficiency.
I mean, do we think that he's like, is he the real deal? Is this who DJ Chark is? Is he
Yeah.
roughly a 100-yard receiver with averaging around a touchdown a game? Obviously, there's going to be games of 0, right?
I think
don't
the
expect it-
average will drop a little bit to the 80s.
Yeah,
But I think he's the number one as long as Minshew's quarterback.
I think he's the number one. I mean, do you think he can keep up this kind of production? That's where it really lies. Can he keep up this kind of production? Bark, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Before this game, I really thought it could still be up in the air. It could be D.D. Westbrook. It could be DJ Chark. After the game against Tennessee, it's DJ Chark. I think he's the guy. He's the guy to own. He's the guy that's going to catch more touchdowns than anyone else on the team. He's probably going to lead him in yardage. Maybe D.D. comes back and leads him in receptions. Maybe. But if you tell me, who do you want, the reception guy or the yardage and touchdown guy? Give me the yardage and touchdown guy. It's DJ Chark.
So I believe that the biggest impact here, I mean, we talk about college rapport, but Minshew and Chark were like second team rapport.
Right, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
I think that's where it built up, and I think this is going to be a connection that continues to last. I mean, Chark athletically is superior to every wide receiver they have. I mean, I want to say he's 6'3", 6'3", about 200 pounds, give or take, and an absolute burner. Combine darling. I mean, the guy just blew away every other wide receiver at the combine. So I think this is who he is. I think is he going to be Odell Beckham? No. But I do think he can be a over 1,000 yards and 10-ish touchdowns on a season wide receiver. And that's a hell of a fantasy prospect right there.
Who, maybe I'm drawing a blank, but one other question was who gets more sacks Sunday night? Myles Garrett or Darnold? Who's Darnold? Or does he mean Donald? They're playing the Rams.
Aaron
Probably
Donald?
Donald.
It's no.
Garrett.
It's Myles Garrett.
For some reason, I thought it was a play on this.
Guy's got
past-
2.5 sacks a game right now.
Yeah, I thought it was a play on this last week, and he's like, Sam Darnold or Myles Garrett? Is this a joke? I wasn't sure, so I think he meant Aaron Donald. So, yeah, it's Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Easily. Aaron Donald actually hasn't had a sack in like 5 games.
Which is something
Dating
we've
back to
talked
last
about.
year.
I mean, the Browns' O-line's trash. I could see Donald getting in there, but definitely Garrett. They freed him up more
it's
this
Garrett.
year. He's got 5 sacks through 2 games.
Which is ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, dude's on pace to, 50 sacks on the year.
Shatter the record.
Yeah. It's time.
If he comes down
it's
to
time
earth,
for
he's
him.
probably still going to approach the record.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll see.
one sack a game would put him at 19, right? So
The record's in the 20s, right?
right, I'm just saying he's gonna
okay.
he's
I
gonna
feel
be
like it's like 22 and a half.
22 and a half.
Only problem is, like, this is what happens in defensive end land. Players go stretches of games without a sack. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
not even the best defensive end
22
typically
and a half
gets.
by Strahan. Sorry.
Yeah, not every defensive end gets a sack a game automatic. I mean, they miss one, they miss 2. It happens. And Aaron Donald, the pressure's still there. He's still a great player. We don't judge him on sacks really.
No.
He's a disruptor. I
No.
mean, Aaron Donald is more valuable to that team even if he's not getting a sack a game.
He is probably the best overall defensive lineman in the game. However, his value doesn't always show up on stat sheets,
right.
especially not fantasy stat sheets. I mean, they've got pressures and, disruption and all the, super analytics, all that stuff. But, yeah, he's great, just not for your fantasy team.
Agreed. So here I am thinking we've got this 3-hour mega show planned, 40 minutes in, and we're kind of ready for our picks and sits of the week. Let's take a quick break to talk about the sponsor of tonight's show, MyBookie. At the end of a hard week, it's great to sit down, take some time off, and watch some football, as Arms would say. Let's talk about some football. Game-winning touchdowns on 2-minute drives, running backs racing down the sidelines with no one to stop them. There's nothing else like the NFL, and there's no better way to make the games even more exciting than to bet on them. So do the smart thing and go to mybookie.ag. No one gives you more ways to win than they do. MyBookie's got the fastest payouts and better lines than any other sports book. And don't forget, when you're betting is just as important as who you're betting on, and mybookie.ag is the best in the business. It's where I play and where you should too. I wouldn't be telling you guys to bet with them if they weren't the best, so do the smart thing. If you're going to bet this football season, bet with MyBookie. Use the promo code BACK. You can also use the promo code ROW on mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. MyBookie. Thanks for sponsoring the show.
Oh, shoot. I've got a ton of people to talk about.
Let's keep going then.
All right. John Ross averaging 135 points and 1.5 touchdowns a game.
And they're 0-2.
They're
135
0-2.
touchdowns a game, and
No,
they're
hush,
0-2. Wow.
hush.
It's really hard to bet against him right now. Like, he's still dropping the ball, and I feel disgusting even saying it. But, I mean, you kind of got to fire him up right now if you got him.
I can't. I just can't do it. I
You can do
I feel
it!
like the other shoe's going to drop for this guy. And it's...
Man, I don't know. We've seen him suck for so long, and now all of a sudden he strings together 2 games of fantasy performance. I don't know if you can. I think you have to start him until he just puts up another egg like he used to.
I think he comes back down to earth this week against Buffalo. They're one of the best pass defenses in the league, but I think, I mean, he's startable just because of what he's done. But I don't have him, so I'm not playing him.
Okay. Sammy Watkins, 222 yards, and man, that can't be right. I think I had him average at 222 a game, but there's no edge. I think it's 122 yards a game and 1.5 touchdowns. So is Sam? He's still leading the team in targets. He's averaging 12 a game. It was, I think, 11 and then 13.
Yeah.
Obviously, Demarcus Robinson had a hell of a week this past week. Do we think Sammy Watkins is week 1 Sammy Watkins or week 2 Sammy Watkins?
Somewhere in between.
I think he's week 2 Sammy Watkins. I mean, I still... Tyreek Hill's not there, so Sammy Watkins is still a guy that I would fire up just based on the fact that I think his floor is a very safe 10 points a game in PPR, and I'm okay. I'm very okay with a safe floor. Like right now, Cooper Kupp is a guy that I acquired for his floor. I mean, his floor is 10 targets a game, 5 to 7 receptions. He's getting me 10 or more. Sammy's going to get you 10 or more, and I think you have to start that over boomer bust guys like, John Ross. John Ross, you got to fire him up, but I mean, an egg is very possible. So I guess I will say more of a floor of a Jamison Crowder. He's going to give you a 20-some, or he's going to give you 5, or he's going to give you 50. I mean, you just don't know with a guy like that. I don't think his floor is safe, but players like that, Sammy Watkins' floor is safe. He's playing with Patty Mahomes. He's giving you 10+ till Tyreek comes back. Then he could put up an egg. So until Tyreek's back, I'm fine with Sammy.
Okay, so moving on down the list. And I don't mind Sammy. His consistency will continue to drive you nuts.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the biggest issue with him. It's up and down. I think that he's going to have more games under 20 points than over, and probably more games under 15 than over 25.
Right.
But here's my thing. If I have Sammy right now, I'm going to try to target somebody who's got a big-time receiver, throw in something else, and try to get someone who's better and more consistent than Sammy Watkins.
Oh, I'll trade Sammy Watkins all day if I can get someone I like more.
So next on the docket, we got Hollywood Brown, averaging 125 and a touchdown a game. his role actually increased from week 2 to week 3,
Big time.
going from 5 targets to 13. Obviously, his production decreased a little bit.
Snaps.
I want to say he only played 5 or 7 snaps
He
week
played
1.
18 snaps week 1, and it was like
it wasn't a lot.
50 some week
Yeah.
2. It jumped big time.
Listen, I'll eat crow when I have to. I was not big on Marquise Brown going into the draft. I was even lower on him after he goes to Baltimore. But this team is not what we thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to grind the ball. Mark Ingram is not going to have his best season ever because Lamar Jackson is going to try to continue, and John Harbaugh is going to try to continue to show that Lamar Jackson is the truth. One of my new favorite sayings that the young kids are saying, the truth. So, I Hollywood Brown, I'm buying all day long right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's clearly looks like the number 1A with Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and
if
the deep
Lamar's,
ball, I mean, they're gonna give him the deep.
But he's not just the
No,
deep
he's
ball
not.
guy. That's
No,
the
he's
best
not.
thing about him.
Yeah.
he's not.
He's got the speed to take it short and take it all the way.
And if Lamar's going to be this good, he can support Andrews and Brown.
Yeah,
Snead, forget about him. Boykins, forget about him for a year or two.
Hollywood is very Tyreek Hill.
That's what I was gonna say. Tyreek
Yep.
Hill. That's what he reminds me of right now.
Agreed.
And I don't know if he keeps it up, but I bank on him keeping it up more than I do John Ross or Sammy Watkins.
I agree.
I think
He's
from a
who I'm buying out of those three.
Yeah.
from a
Definitely.
consistency standpoint, I think DJ Chark will be the most consistent stat line, but it's not going to have the highest highs or the lowest lows out of the ones I've named so far.
And crazily, give me the guy with the. Listen, I love Gardner. I love Gardner Minshew, but give me the guy with the up and coming possible superstar quarterback. Give me Marquise Brown over DJ Chark.
Okay. I'm with you. I was just saying from a consistency standpoint, I feel
Right,
like
right, I get
the
you.
floor ceiling for DJ Chark's closer to one another, whereas the floor for Hollywood might be a little bit lower, but I feel like his ceiling is much higher.
I agree. That's a great statement.
He's like a Deshaun Jackson when it comes to boom or bust.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
But
we haven't really seen it yet, but I think that's the type of player.
Talking
But
Marquise or Chark?
Marquise.
But I feel like the difference is the target shares are going to be monstrous for Hollywood going
I think
forward.
his floor is safe.
Whereas Deshaun, he might get 3 targets in a game, and I don't think we're ever going to see that. I mean, yeah, maybe once or twice, but we're not going to see that very often with Hollywood Brown. So moving on down, Michael Gallup, averaging 110 a game and 6.5 targets a game.
Injured, going to be out a few.
Okay, but
So-
are you buying Michael Gallup?
I am. Yeah, absolutely. If Dak's going to keep this up, and if this Dallas team is I think this Dallas team has realized that it's 2019. Yeah, we got Zeke, but let's not just be a run team. I mean, let's go ahead and make this offense. Teams are chasing the Chiefs and the Rams.
Yep.
So teams have made adjustments. So I don't expect them to stop throwing the ball at all. Michael Gallup, I think, is going to be as good as he was the first 2 games. I'm buying all day long. I did just buy. I traded Stephon Diggs and Dede Westbrook. I acquired Michael Gallup, Cooper Kupp, and Preston Williams. Wanted to switch it up, take a chance. I believe in
What league
Gallup.
is this?
This was our league of record.
Wow.
I traded Diggs and Dede Westbrook. I got Cooper Kupp, Preston Williams, and who we were
I
just.
feel like you ripped him off
Gallup.
horribly.
I mean,
Was it you?
No, it wasn't
Okay.
me.
It was Lambert.
Okay, you ripped off Lambert.
He offered, and I had to think about it. I mean, we are talking Diggs. This
And
is
Diggs is a top
Diggs-
tier talent.
He-
So,
he-
I mean,
But I
is.
feel like Cooper Kupp is
Oh, yeah.
on par with Diggs whenever he's on the field.
he's risky.
he's
though.
a notch below, but yeah, he got the better end of the deal.
All
I
right.
think.
So
We'll see. Time will tell.
Terry McLaurin.
I'm buying. I have no worries about him. I think his floor is safe as well. He's the number 1 in Washington. He's the most talented wide receiver in Washington, hands down. Trey Quinn's okay. I mean, he's an okay slot guy. Kelvin Harmon, I think with time will be solid, but Terry McLaurin he's established. He's the guy.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
he's
he's
averaging
one of the best route runners in the league.
He's
Where-
averaging 5 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown a game.
Where the hell did Scary Terry come from?
I don't know.
I don't either.
T-Mac, Scary Terry, the man of a million nicknames.
Scary Terry's the one I've been hearing the most, but
All right, Debo.
Samuel Debo. Go ahead.
Debo Samuel.
he was my favorite. He was my favorite receiver outside of A.J. Brown pre-draft. I'm sticking with him. I'm buying.
Well, week 1 he had
I'm buying
3
everybody.
for 3 in 17 yards. Week 2, 5 out of 7 targets for 86 yards against a putrid Bengals.
Yeah.
But I mean, is the Steelers' defense really that much better right now?
If he's going to become Jimmy G's favorite target,
They did just acquire Minka.
outside of Kittle, of course.
Oh yes, I forgot about that actually.
We do. Yeah, we do have moves that have been made.
All right, last receiver, James Washington. Hasn't done anything,
Washington,
but
no.
obviously Moncrief, not really anything at this point. What do we think? Is James Washington going to be something?
Not buying yet.
I mean, you can get
I'm
him.
not selling because they've got him on damn near
Yeah,
every roster.
I got him on a couple teams, but I'm not selling him. But I think you can still acquire him for really cheap.
Before we move on, I want to touch on some quarterbacks real quick.
We got to touch on some running backs too. So you started this.
All right, you hit the running backs. I'll do the quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson. All right, 7 touchdowns. But let's also realize he played the Dolphins and the Cardinals.
I get that, but he still came out slinging. So are they going to continue to throw him out there and sling the ball? Yeah, they are.
Man,
It's
I'm
Lamar
looking.
Jackson.
I'm looking forward to that game this
Dude,
weekend.
this is the game. This is the. I said something about a different game being like one of the big games of the week, but the Chiefs and Ravens is a huge game,
I agree.
massive.
So the slate going forward, if you are a Lamar Jackson owner and you do have what you believe is a better quarterback, let's be real. The price you paid for Lamar Jackson was next to nothing. All right, unless you drafted it, well, no, it was next to nothing. You didn't pay much for Lamar Jackson. So going forward, he's got the Chiefs, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals. If you're going to sell, let him finish out that slate and then sell, because it doesn't get very favorable after that.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to this game this week. But I think he has a little bit. I don't think he has. I mean, he's not going to put the numbers. I don't think. Chiefs defense sucks, but at Arrowhead, I think they're going to bring the pressure on Lamar. I think he's going to have a little bit of a mediocre game this
But
week.
bringing the pressure means he runs.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just saying. I think he has a mediocre game this week.
I just wonder, do you think he can keep up the? I mean, I think right now he's the number 1 or number 2 quarterback in fantasy.
Yeah,
Can he continue to be a top 3 fantasy quarterback?
Yeah, just because of his rushing ability.
I agree.
Okay.
And I've thought for a while that we judged his throwing ability too harshly, too quickly. So I'm not saying he's a top tier thrower in the league, but if he can be a above average thrower in the league, his ceiling's massive. Real quick, just want to say we did have another question on here. It's not a question that we have to take time to answer, but I can't read this name. Contreras, we'll call him Contreras. He said, "What's up, fellas? New sub. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it." He found us live on YouTube, and he said, "Do you guys offer start-sit advice?" Yes, we do. Hit us up on Twitter at The Back Row Show. Find our Facebook page. You can even email us. I'm not going to throw that out right away. Try to find us on there first, but yeah, we absolutely do. Thanks for subscribing.
Those are the
Thanks
first
for
2
listening.
routes which will respond.
Yeah. Twitter's usually the quickest. Me and Arms, and you can also do at Huck's Back Row. I'll hook you up with our login too, so you can add it. But you can private message us on Twitter. We'll get to you very quickly that way. So yes. All right. Sorry guys. Keep going.
All right, so Dak, similar type of competition week 1, week 2 as Lamar Jackson. He's thrown for 674 and 7, but he played the Giants and the Skins. So Dak coming up is the Dolphins, which for me is play of the week. Dak Prescott will be the play of the week for
Miami's
for me.
going to win.
But then it goes the Saints, the Packers in the second half of the season
25
is
to nothing.
not exceptionally favorable for Dak Prescott. All I'm saying is let him dismantle the Fins, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then he's going to look like he's probably going to legitimately after this week be the number 1 quarterback in all of fantasy.
Right.
And it's probably he might actually be up 10, 15 points on Patrick Mahomes. Think about it. Patrick Mahomes does play a great Ravens defense.
By the way, start all your Cowboys this week.
Yes,
And
definitely.
if you play a Survivor Pick'em League, go ahead and pick the Cowboys this week.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's also true.
So I guess where I'm going with this, for me, I'm selling Dak after the Fins game.
It depends
I
on
mean,
who I got.
he's
Once
probably
again,
going to be at peak value. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you could go ahead and tell him because I don't think any of us were on him before the season. We all hated him.
I just feel like the
Hate's a strong word.
I feel like he's going to come down to earth.
I don't know, man.
Hard.
Kellen Moore's got that offense rolling. New offensive coordinator there.
Once again, he played the Giants, the Skins.
No, I get it, but I mean, just the new offense. I think a young guy, Kellen Moore. I don't even know if he's like 30 years old.
Yeah, he was
I
a quarterback.
Clemson
guy, wasn't he?
I don't even know if he's 30. It just seemed like he was playing last year.
It wasn't that. It was a little further back than that.
I mean,
all right, so you guys are buying? You're keeping Dak? Or are you trying to acquire Dak if you don't have him?
It's too much. It's a hard answer because it depends on who your quarterback is this year. I mean, in some leagues I might be buying, in some leagues I might have no interest. I mean, quarterback's still that thing. Like we talked about it before the season. You know, if you got Matthew Stafford, why buy?
Yeah.
If you got Lamar Jackson, why buy? If you got Gardner Minshew, you might want to roll with him and see if he gets better statistically as the season goes on. He becomes more comfortable. It just really depends. If my quarterbacks are Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, hell yeah, I'm trying to buy Dak Prescott.
Okay.
But
or if you're in an
depends.
injury situation like me in a couple leagues with Breeze, Cam Newton,
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely trying to buy then. But
All right. So Minshew, you love him. We all love him. Are you trying to acquire? I know you wanted him.
I acquired him in all the leagues
You paid
I
heavy
could.
for him.
Hell yeah, I did.
But as I'm looking through, like he doesn't look to have terrible matchups through the rest of the season. And for what he's done so far, I think he can keep up this level of production. I don't know if he's going to be a 4 or 5 touchdown game guy ever, but are you guys? I know you want to acquire him. Hux, what are your thoughts on Minshew? Trying to acquire, or just not going to be worth the price for the hype right now?
I think the hype is, it's not worth the price right now. I don't think. So I'm probably not trying to buy right now.
And I'll give you one more at quarterback. So Case Keenum is averaging 300 yards a game and 2.5 touchdowns a game.
Case Keenum.
Now, I avoid
Done it
him
before.
at all costs right now.
Come on. You owed him.
He plays Chicago this week.
Oh, I avoid him too.
Okay, but other than that, like week 5 against the Patriots, week 9 against the Vikings, week 13 against the Panthers, and the rest of it looks like cupcakes. Case Keenum could finish
Is he going to be the
10.
quarterback that long?
If he's producing, I doubt it, but if he's producing,
I mean, if he's throwing 300 yards a game, but they're still 0-2. I mean, if they're still losing,
but the question is, if he's not the reason they're losing, though, why do you?
Yeah, but if you get in that point of the season, we're like, all right, the season's we're done. Let's see what Haskins can give us.
And I lied to you about Keenum. Last one I'm going to touch on is Baker.
Oh, that great value version of Minshew.
So he's averaging 300 yards and a touchdown. Is he just the leader of the Gardner Minshew fan club? Or do you see him becoming Baker from last year? Or was last year flukish?
No,
They don't look
definitely not
that
flukish.
good.
Not yet. There's some new pieces, and like Huck said, the line is not looking that great.
No, the line's terrible.
So, yeah. Real quick, last question of the evening, and we'll continue to move on. Our new subscriber asks, pick a flex in a half-point PPR, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Mecole Hardman, or Tyler Boyd. I'm going to say right
Boyd.
off the rip, it's Boyd. Safer floor. I think you're getting 15 points this week out of Boyd.
Not happening.
Oh, come on.
Tre'Davious White's covering Tyler Boyd this week. It's not happening.
Tyler Boyd doesn't even play outside half the time.
Well, I'm just saying it's not happening.
Tyler Boyd. Who is it for you?
Who is the choices?
Metcalf. DJ Moore, Metcalf, Mecole, or Boyd. It's not Mecole.
I'm gonna go Metcalf.
Yuck.
What?
I know.
He's looked decent. I'm not going to talk bad about Zacharias, but
DeKalen Zacharias.
Zacharias. For me, it's Boyd. DJ Moore's a close second. I don't think you can go wrong there, really.
Boyd's probably safer, but I'm going Metcalf.
I like to be safe.
I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so take what you want out of that.
Arms.
Tyler Boyd. Floor. I don't know if his ceiling's as high as DJ Moore this week, but his floor is definitely so much higher than all the rest of them.
Regardless of what I said about Kyle Allen elevating some of the positional players, we got to admit sometimes we could be way off. DJ Moore could maybe not mesh with Kyle Allen. It could happen. Tyler Boyd's going to get 10-plus targets. He just is. Unless John Ross goes for 20. But Tyler Boyd's my guy. Running backs real quick. Derrick Henry, double digits every game yesterday. He was saved by a touchdown. Do we feel any differently?
A touchdown that probably shouldn't have been his. So I don't remember who caught the ball. It ended up as a short yard situation, and he ends up plunging it in.
Average-wise, he's the 6th best running back right now as far as points per game goes, which is what we try to measure on. So, Derrick Henry, are you buying yet, Arms? You've not been a Derrick Henry guy, but
I still think he's going to have huge ups and some really, really bad downs. Like, I can't do it. I'll stick by my stance and say that Derrick Henry still finishes the season with like 1,100 yards, probably going to get 10 touchdowns, because I think that's kind of his floor. He's a great short yardage guy, but I just don't see him breaking off a 75-yard reception every week. It's just not going to happen.
Now, to me, there's not a lot of surprising names in the top 10 points per game wise. Austin Ekeler, he's a surprising name. I think we've
surprising.
already, yeah, he's number 1. I mean, points per game, number 1 running back in fantasy football right now. And I think we could all say
points per game.
Points per game.
Is he above Dalvin?
Oh, yeah. 31
Dalvin.
31 points a game right now for Austin Ekeler in our league of record. Dalvin Cook's behind him at 27, number 2 slot. But as far as that goes, not a lot of names that surprise me too much in the top 10. Even 10 through 20, not a whole lot of names that surprise me that much either. But San Francisco, is there a running back that we're okay owning, or are we selling everyone that we can? Jeff Wilson has been vulturing touchdowns. Raheem Mostert has had a good game. Beretta's has been doable. That's what she said. That was disgusting. Beretta's been solid in the first couple games. So is there? What do you think? What do we think about the San Fran running
I feel
backs?
like it's like the Patriots running back situation, but with production all the way around. Like, I feel like somebody every week is probably going to really have a nice game. Good luck. I don't want to deal with that. I'm sorry, as a fantasy owner, I just don't want to deal with that. I'll take one of them as my number 3 as a bye week guy and hope that it hits whenever there's an injury, or once again to week 5 if I got a guy on the bye, I put him in. Hell yeah, let's do that. But I don't want to deal with the ups and downs, and I don't want to deal with Jeff Wilson who won literally nobody but himself a fantasy football game last week. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
I think Breida's ownable.
I agree.
And actually, since it's my team, I'm going to ask you guys a sit-start question. I have Breida starting in one of my leagues over Tarek Cohen. What do you think?
I'm okay with that. I think Beretta is the better start.
PPR?
Well, yeah. Of course. Man. Is there anything else?
No.
There is, but
not.
Nobody should be playing it. Yeah, it's a coin flip for me, honestly. I mean, Cohen catches so many damn balls. So
sometimes
it's coin flip.
I mean, it depends on the game script there. It seems like, because if they're up or right in the game, it looks like Montgomery's going to be getting the work. Because, I mean, Cohen didn't have much of a game last week.
Speaking of which, you transitioned me perfectly. I want to talk real quickly.
Before we move on that,
what?
But Breida only had 37 yards week 1. I mean, he rushed for 121 against the Bengals.
Catches?
No
catches. Did he?
He had no receptions week 1.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
He only had
asking.
1 week 2.
Just asking.
I mean, he averaged 10 yards a carry in week 2. Like, that's kind of flukish. I think I could be wrong. I was at the game. We weren't obviously watching from stadium. You can't see everyone's numbers. He looked like a star, but damn it, it's still the Bengals.
Yeah.
So I mean, not ready to start him. Give me Trey Cohen.
Let me touch on a few running backs that have disappointed through 2 weeks and get you guys' quick takes on them. Damian Williams has disappointed. Leonard Fournette is disappointed.
Or did he just do what we thought?
Let's leave Fournette out of there, because none of us treat him like Dak around here. So Damian Williams, disappointing. James Conner, disappointing. Royce Freeman, Philip Lindsay, not so much Freeman. Philip Lindsay and David Montgomery. So Montgomery, Lindsay, Connor, and Damian Williams all have disappointed a little bit. Do you buy low on any of those guys?
David Montgomery.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you can buy low on him. I mean,
I don't think
he
you
just
can
had a
either.
good game week too.
But are you buying? You know what? I've seen some Twitter posts, like of him getting dropped in redraft leagues. So if people were dropping him in redraft,
yeah, pick him up.
then some dynasty owners are going to panic a little bit. So
I saw Rashad Penny get dropped in redraft.
I probably would do that too, to be honest.
They have almost identical stats.
Yeah, I'd be okay. I roll with the hot hand in redraft because I don't pay that much attention to it. But I mean, are you buying it, Lindsey? Are you buying Lindsey? Do you think he bounces back, or is Freeman your own?
I think it's a straight split there. I don't think
I agree.
I'm not buying him.
I'm with you. And we
Unless
talked
it's
about
really
this
cheap.
a lot in the offseason, too. Like, you just don't know if either one of them are good enough to wrangle the job from the other one. And
Right.
Royce is too good to not be on the field.
Connor,
James Conner?
I'm buying.
I'll buy.
I'm buying. Damian Williams.
I'm not buying.
I'm not buying.
Probably going to be pretty cheap right now. I think it
He should be
depends.
cheap.
And he's out this week, so
He's out this week. Does Darwin Thompson make his presence known?
Oh, are we just going to ignore the fact that LaShawn McCoy's there?
No. LaShawn McCoy's going to get carries. We know he's going to get carries, but I wouldn't feel comfortable playing him in any league format still. I'm sorry. I'm not. But Darwin, I'll take that high ceiling chance on.
Darwin's going to have to be dirt cheap. I mean, here's the thing. If Darwin comes in and does what he looked like in the preseason, he ain't giving back that job. I'll take.
I agree.
I want no shares of Damian Williams, but I would definitely take a chance on Thompson.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me too. But I'm okay buying Damian Williams if owners are just really afraid of him. Like I don't
As they
mind.
should be.
I don't mind adding him to my running backs table if somebody's like, give me Miles Boykin or give me Dante Pettis.
No, I mean,
or-
anytime you can add a possible big part of a Chiefs offense, then you, at a cheap price.
Bingo, Hooks. Bingo.
Bingo was his name.
I like it. Okay, guys, ready to get into some sits and starts?
Let's roll.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just do the same thing. Go around the table. Start out with big sits or starts. I'll lead it off. I'm excited about this one. I know you can start them all, but one of my favorites. I have two big time pickups at wide receiver that I love this week. The first one is crazily Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb, if you can pick him up, if he's sitting on your waivers in Dynasty, or if you can acquire him for something that you don't need. Like say you have you're stacked at linebacker, you can trade your fifth or sixth linebacker for him. You're stacked at tight end, you have 3 or 4 of them, you can trade your third tight end for him to win a game this week. I think you do it. Randall Cobb, Michael Gallup's out. Devin Smith is the guy that they're saying is going to get a lot more play. Well, yes, of course he is. He's going to be in the game more. But Randall Cobb, to me, is the guy to own this week for the Cowboys against the Dolphins. I think he is going to slice and dice those poor little aquatic mammals up. Major start for me.
I mean, I like Cobb, but I'm wondering. I really think it's going to be the Zeke show this week, and I'm
Oh, it
wondering
will
if
be after the second half. Or after the first half. Going into the second half.
I don't know, because I think that they could pull their starters after 3 quarters. So I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
Rosen tears it up.
I mean, I hope so. I hope Miami wins. Screw the Cowboys. But but I mean, I think it's gonna be the Zeke show. I don't know. I just don't know if it's gonna be enough to go around to get Cobb. I don't know. I'm iffy on Cobb.
See, I think Cobb stays in the whole time too. Like they might pull out Amari Cooper, but I don't think Cobb even comes off the field. I don't think they bother with just going all preseason
Yeah,
on
but
him.
by that time they're gonna be running Tony Pollard.
Maybe. But I love Cobb this week. I just think it's a savvy pickup, especially in redraft, because he's there. He's there. I've picked him up in every redraft just to insert him in place of injuries, in place of, guys that are disappointing a little bit. So I love Randall Cobb this week. I'll pass it on to
I'll pass on
Whoever.
Randall Cobb, though. I don't. The inconsistencies he always had with Green Bay. I'm sorry, but as good as Dak looks, he's no Aaron Rodgers.
you.
Okay.
Okay, someone else give me a start.
You're going to love this. Preston Williams.
Oh,
I think they're going to be
I don't disagree with it. I considered him.
playing from behind. I think he's going to get a ton of targets. The yardage is going to be there, sneaks into the end zone. I think Preston Williams is going to be a hell of a play this week.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think I'm not comfortable putting him in there unless I missed out on some of the other guys I'm going to talk about, but I think you could be very right on that one.
I mean, I'm not starting him in because I mean my wide receiving core is probably pretty weak if I'm starting Preston Williams this week. But now in DK purposes, yeah, I'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
He's cheap.
I mean, you got to have him on your team to begin with. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's rosterable in Dynasty, obviously.
Yeah, that's
but,
what I'm saying. Like, we can't. When we're saying start him, what I'm getting at is, if you've got Gallup, someone who's out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna plug him in for injured guy.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with rolling with him. I'm not going to make a trade to hurt my team if I've got Preston Williams sitting on my bench.
Okay. Don't mind that at all. Let's see.
I'll start.
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
I know we talked about him earlier, but I'm starting James Washington this week.
That's my number 2 at wide receiver, my second start.
I just think the rapport with Mason Rudolph's there, coming from college together. I think this is his breakout week. I think they beat the 49ers. I think the 49ers are favored by a touchdown, which still kind of – I know they're 2-0, aren't they?
The line is 6.5, and they are 2-0. Yes.
Yep.
It's just I think the Steelers win this week.
I'll go wide receiver with you. I'll go ahead and give up my next one, who is a massive redraft target in my opinion, and you can grab him in Dynasty. This guy has looked good when healthy. Mac Hollins. I have rostered Mac Hollins more times than I'd like to admit. I've dropped him. I've picked him up. I've dropped him. I've picked him up. The kid can play.
Oh, yeah.
But he never seems to be able to stay healthy enough to get on the field. He's had issues over the past couple years. Deshaun Jackson's out this week. I did see that Alshon Jeffrey has a chance to play now. But still, Mac Hollins got 8 targets last week. I think he caught them all for 80 yards. The kid's a good football player, and if he gets enough of an opportunity, he may not let it go if he can stay on the field. I think if you're suffering in redraft or dynasty and you need a plug and play, I think Mac Hollins is a really good bet this week against what I think is going to be a solid Lions team and a pretty solid game. I actually expect this game to be high scoring, and I think another guy from this, I'll wait, but I'll move on. Mac Hollins.
If you're going to go to J-Jaw Sega here.
No,
well,
I'm not.
I will, sticking with the same game, same team actually. If J-Jaw is available, right now is when you want to pick him up.
See, I will say I think he's a sit this week.
I'm not saying starting.
I know.
I'm saying if he's available,
he's not ready.
You've got to pick him up because if he gets a few targets and does what I think he can do with them, his price will be through the roof next week.
Yeah, I mean, if Alshon sits, he's going to get some playing time this week.
Oh yeah, if Alshon sits, he'll definitely see the field. But last week it was Hollins who got the playing time, so I'm buying Mac Hollins everywhere I can, just in hopes that he can put up another good game and stick around. Give me another start.
Guys, I'm fine with starting Mason Rudolph this week.
I am as well.
Oh, yeah?
I have no reservations about that.
I'm starting him in one league.
I could
Damn injuries.
I can see him. Is he going to be Big Ben? No, he's not going to throw for 5,000 yards over the rest of the season. But man,
he could.
I just don't. I don't know if it's going to be as massive of a drop off as everybody thinks. The guy was drafted to be the heir apparent to Ben Roethlisberger. There was rumblings of his retirement. That's the reason they addressed quarterback in that draft.
That's why they were able to trade Josh Dobbs last week.
Yeah.
So you get Mason Rudolph with the plethora of talent around him. I mean, Juju, in my opinion, one of the top receivers in the league. I think James Washington has a chance to be up there. I mean, the tight ends are solid. You've got James Conner who can catch the ball out of the backfield. What's not to love about a situation, if anything else?
He's in a perfect situation.
Remove what we think he can be talent-wise. Just look at the situation.
Yeah.
I've seen way crappier quarterbacks come in and excel based on the situation than him.
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable playing him this week.
So, you got another one?
I'll go quarterback, and you're probably starting I don't know. Some of them probably iffy from week to week, but I like the, like you said, I think the Eagles-Lions game is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm comfortable. I'll go ahead. I have Stafford and Wentz both wrote down. I think both of them are. You're probably starting Wentz, but Stafford sometimes iffy week to week. But I think they're both playable this week.
I agree. Agree 100%. I'm going to give another start from that game, actually. I think if there is a week where he's primed to finally do some damage and put up double-digit fantasy points, I think Miles Sanders could have himself his, not breakout, because I don't think he's going to run for 150 yards or anything like that. But get up and get the drink yourself, Hux. But I do think that Miles Sanders is going to have a good week. I think he's going to score a touchdown this week. I think he'll lead the backfield in carries. Our buddy Michael Bauer over at the Dynasty Rewind, he also still believes in Miles Sanders fully. I'm sorry I was mean to you, Hux. But I like Miles Sanders this week. I think it's going to be a good game. I think you're going to see plenty of rushing and passing on both sides. It's going to be a close one the whole way through, in my opinion. And I do like Miles Sanders this week. I'm not starting him in every league because I've got some guys that I would not even dream of starting him over. But if he's one of your top options at running back, I think you could plug him in.
I fired him up in one of my DFS lineups. I mean, he's dirt cheap.
Yes, he's cheap. Yeah, I think this could be his week.
So
could be.
I'm going to fire up. I'm going to give you a stack here. Cousins and Thielen. I mean, they are playing the Raiders, who tend to struggle a little bit against the pass. Hey, you can disagree all you want. We're all wrong sometimes. But I think that both of them are going to have bounce back weeks. I think that you'll see a little bit of what we've seen historically from Cousins and Thielen as well.
I'm just worried about them. I don't doubt it. Like, the Raiders have shown that they can be competitive, and Tyrell Williams has looked good. Darren Waller's looked good. Brandon Jacobs has looked good. You might very well be right about it. I'm not comfortable right now. I'm not comfortable with Cousins.
I actually have Cousins as one of my sits this week.
Same.
They're wanting to run the ball. I think it's going to look more like week one this week than it did last week. But I mean, they're going to throw the ball more than 10 times this week. But
right.
and then last week he threw it 32 times, but he only completed 14 passes. And they're wanting to establish the run.
Cousins don't look right now.
No, I mean, but the talent's there. I mean, especially with the receivers. So, I mean, I could see it. I could see Thielen more than Cousins. I could see Thielen having.
It's a good take 100. Because you could very well hit on that.
I feel the matchup's prime.
Yeah, I mean,
as much as I'm.
If Oakland can stay with, and obviously you probably think they can compete in this game, then Cousins is going to have to throw the ball more, and he's probably going to complete more than. I mean, he wasn't even 50% last week.
Like, I'm sorry, but I can't call a pure regression after 2 games. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's.
The guy's been a perennial top 10 guy.
He has been
since he got a starting job.
I'll crawl.
But
I'll call the regression.
I don't
think he finishes top 15 this year.
The way it's looking, just as they're wanting to establish that run, which Dalvin's looked great through 2 weeks. And I see the game going as they're going to dominate the game, so they're going to run the ball. Cook, Madison, and I just don't see Cousins putting up the numbers to be startable.
I'm going to say something you're going to hate. Kirk Cousins is one bad season away from becoming the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, I'm talking about a guy that just takes a little too much risk with the ball and just slings it because he's got the arm to sling it.
So here's the biggest reason why I'm going down this road. The Raiders are 31st against the pass and 5th against the rush.
Okay. They had one bad quarter last week against the Chiefs. That was the second quarter.
Yeah. So if you really roll it back and look at what their strength is, they have an opportunity to slow down. And I'm not going to say they're going to stop Dalvin Cook. He looks amazing right now. But I think that we're not going to see a 100-yard Dalvin Cook game. Is he going to get in the end zone? Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, they are a better team.
100 yards.
I'll give it that. But, I mean, they've got a better rush defense right now than the Bears. Pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, so you're on the thinking of they're going to keep it a game, and I'm not. So I see the other side of it.
Here's my thought. If it's not a game, I think it's not a game through the air.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's possible. I mean, that he's not going to have a bad game every game this year. So, I mean, this could be the game that he throws 300 yards.
He comes back to life. we see the old Kirk Cousins going forward.
We'll see. We shall see. Man, tonight the stream is going quite well tonight. We've got a new fan on Twitch
Awesome.
that apparently likes us enough to make us a really cool overlay for our stream, meaning, back row graphics around and maybe
Wow.
square. Yeah, thanks people for being so cool.
No doubt.
But,
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you a ton. My next start that I'm very comfortable with this week is not really a stretch, but Evan Ingram's going to be good this week. He's going to be really good. I know that's not a major one. That's not reaching from the bottom.
I mean, it is a quarterback change, and we know that the rapport's there with Eli. I could see some people balking on it and saying, well, the guy who peppers him all the time's not there. But I agree with you.
Yeah, I can't ignore that one. Like, right now he's the best playmaker as far as pass catcher goes on the Giants. And Daniel Jones, we say this all the time, but rookie quarterbacks, they really do look the tight end's way quite a bit. So
They're not that far downfield usually.
no,
I'm
that's very true.
excited to see Daniel Jones.
I am
really
too.
am.
I am. I really
I
am.
know the Giants took a lot of crap for taking him, but I'm excited to see him. I think he's going to put life into this offense.
Same. Absolute same.
I still think it's a mistake. I don't think he was the right quarterback, but he can't be worse than Eli is right now.
Getting the start before Haskins is. But
Well, the quarterback playing in front of Haskins isn't Eli freaking Manning.
Haskins was going to break that touchdown record this
Yeah,
year, wasn't he?
season's
That
not
rookie
over.
touchdown record?
Season's not over.
Man.
Buddy, come on.
Season's not over.
Come on, Arms. Come. Psh.
Season's not over.
Okay. Someone give me a start.
I'll go Greg Olson against the Cardinals.
I am really not happy about the non-use of Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas looked really good last year when he got the
He did.
chance. And they're just, I understand Greg Olson is like your Ben Roethlisberger. He's been there forever. You're not going to sit him until
And he's looked good this year so far.
He has. I'll give him. I
And
give him credit.
Arizona has looked bad against the tight ends, especially.
Yeah.
So-
But Ian Thomas still should be utilized in some way. Run some 2 tight end sets and get the ball to both of them.
Maybe they will this week.
Maybe they will.
I doubt it.
I'll give you a start. I think Josh Allen this week is a
Defensive end Josh Allen.
Did you just mark him off?
I had him wrote down.
Yeah, I had him wrote down. Okay, so yeah, I mean it's the Bengals. Josh Allen, I think he's going to put up one of those really good Josh Allen games where he throws for a couple touchdowns and he even runs. Devin Singletary's out this week.
Yep.
So the best running back on the field is Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. And he's probably going to rush for about 70 yards this week on top of whatever he throws for.
Get another rushing touchdown. Yep.
DK especially, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever. I think he's a fantastic option. Do you know the price on him?
$5,900.
$5,900 on Josh Allen. Goodbye this week.
Speaking of players that can run all over the Bengals, why not Frank Gore? I mean,
Yeah.
the Bengals are
Josh
terrible. Okay, if they're up 2 scores in the fourth
Bengals
quarter,
aren't the
they're not
Dolphins.
running Josh Allen. They're going to run Frank Gore.
TJ Yeldon.
Yeah, Yeldon's going to get some touches this week. It'll be interesting to
Not
see.
saying to start him. That's not
No.
what I'm saying by any means.
I do. I've got probably one everyone that's listening to the show is going to disagree with. But I think Devonta Freeman is going to have a little bit of a bounce back this week. I mean, his season high is 22 yards. He got a little bit of extra action in the pass game this past week. Got 42 yards in the air. But the Colts are quite possibly going to be without Darius Leonard. Or is he already ruled out?
He's got a chance.
If they don't have Darius Leonard,
Small chance. I don't think it's going to happen.
if they don't have
But-
Darius Leonard, that is big news for the possibility of Devonta Freeman succeeding. I mean, so far he struggled against the Vikings, really good rush defense, and he struggled against the Eagles, who are the number 3 rush defense in the league. So
Yeah, he has been ruled out.
yeah, so all right,
Man,
they don't
that
have
hurts
Darius
me in a lot
Leonard.
of leagues.
They were the 18th best rushing defense in the league with Darius Leonard. You take out quite possibly best linebacker in the game, you probably drop your talent pool a little bit. So yeah, I think Freeman's going to have a playable game if you need him.
Yeah. I had him, honestly, I had Freeman written down as one of my sets for, season-long redraft, but I think in DK he's a good play because he's down to the lowest price he's probably going to be out the rest of the year. I think he's 4,900 this week.
Got to be cheap.
Yeah. So
He's got to be cheap to play too.
yeah.
Otherwise, you ain't going to.
Right.
Yeah. Here's a start. I'm trying. I've been struggling this week to find running backs that I think are just safe besides the names that we already know. But the Packers have looked good. They're 2-0. They play the Broncos. The Broncos have looked mediocre-ish. Like Joe Flacco's not exactly setting the world on fire. The run game's not setting the world on fire. Even though Matt LaFleur, even though Matt LaFleur came out and said he wants to get Jamal Williams more touches and even it up a little bit, they're going to get up on the Broncos, and I think we're going to see plenty of Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has looked pretty good. Sorry, I'm taking
my
all
paper here?
Sorry, bro. But I think that Aaron Jones is going to be a nice start this week, so I would even feel comfortable starting him over the Seahawks backs. Carson, give me Aaron Jones over Carson. Give me Aaron Jones over James Conner till he picks it up. Give me Aaron Jones over Nick Chubb. That's Browns are going to be playing from behind in that one. Give me Aaron Jones. You think what? You think the Browns going to be?
It's in Cleveland. I think they're gonna beat the Rams.
What?
Wow.
What?
They're gonna beat the Rams. Mark it down right now. Take them.
Wow.
They got
the
blown
points.
out week
I
one,
don't
but they're going to
care.
beat the
That's-
freaking Rams.
Yeah, that was week 1.
What? Well, I mean, I'll give Hux a point for that. I wish this was like around the horn. I'd be like, ding! Point for that. Week 1 doesn't matter. But I don't think they're going to beat the Rams. The Rams,
Only reason I'm playing Chubb over him is Chubb gets all the looks, all the touches. He's not splitting.
it's true.
So
but
that's why
I still think Baker's going to have to throw downfield in this one.
Oh, it's gonna be. I mean, Chubb's gonna get his.
Hey, Neil Drox is watching us on the Twitch. Thanks,
Oh,
buddy.
you
I
couldn't
don't
make
know. I
it.
don't know who's Neil. Who's Neil?
You couldn't make it, but
He's the fourth host of the
Oh.
Back Row Fan.
Uh,
Fourth. He's not the third.
Oh.
That's Mr. Reliable. He's gonna get mad. I'm just playing, Neil.
so upset right now.
Kind of true, but I am just playing. Kinda.
Kinda.
We love you, Neil. Give me a few more starts. Let's.
I'd like to meet this Neil guy.
Crybaby.
I've only got
He's gonna
one
be
more
upset.
start, and that's T.J. Hawkinson.
You like Hawk after a bad week.
I do. It's not.
Going back to that Philly and Detroit game that we all seem to love.
I mean, let's be real. The Eagles have been getting torched in
Oh,
here.
they sure have.
So you know, I think Galladay will be fine. Which you got to fire up Galladay to begin with.
Yeah.
But Hawkinson, dirt cheap in DFS, and going to have a heck of a bounce back week. If you whiffed on the top 2 or 3 and weren't fortunate enough to get Mark Andrews as your tight end, dude, Hawkinson, fire him up this week.
Hawkinson. I'm going to fire up Devontae Freeman, and I'm a big Devontae Freeman hater. But I do think the Falcons are going to get up on the Colts enough to give him some carries.
Did you not
And I-
listen to the word I just said?
What?
I just talked about Devontae Freeman.
Did you?
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah,
it
for
for
like
like
5 minutes.
Where was I?
I don't know.
You were reading the
I
stream,
mean,
bro.
that's why we talked about Darius Leonard.
Dude, this Seagram's Escapes is some powerful stuff.
No kidding.
I think you disagree
think
with me whenever I said
I think it's the sip of Dos Equis.
Peach Bellini just really taking me out of the game tonight.
I don't believe a damn word you're saying.
What'd you say about Freeman? I totally
Is
missed
what
it.
arms say that irrelevant? I mean, I agree, but I mean, is that irrelevant?
Kinda.
No Darius Leonard in the.
Did you really talk about him
yes.
for 5 minutes?
That's why we talked
Is
about
that an exaggeration?
No.
No.
It's arms talking about him. Of course it was 5 minutes.
Do you like him this week?
Yes.
Okay. God dang.
You go ahead and reaffirm my statement.
Man, I was really busy
I
sending
said he's
threatening text
got a
messages.
season high is 22 yards.
Yeah,
got
he
more
went
involved in
real
the pass
in-depth.
game this week.
Man, look at that.
I even countered him, said I was sitting him in season long, but I'd start him in DK.
Huh.
Wow.
Cocaine's a powerful drug.
It sure is.
Hell of a drug. My bad.
One more start, which you're probably starting him anyways, just because
Sit this one out.
it's David Johnson, but
Yeah.
coming off a bad week. But I think he's safe to play again this week. Which, like I said, you're probably starting him anyways because
I agree.
it's David Johnson. But
Just
that
say I agree and disagree. To
that
stuff.
Carolina Arizona game
Probably
could
for
be
the
one
best.
of your. I think it could be one of your higher scoring games of the week. The 2 fastest paced teams play each other this week, so I think there's a lot of players playable this week.
Playable players.
Playable players.
Playable players. Defense. Got any IDP? I think Leighton Vander Esch has a nice game, even though Miami's not going to be able to run the ball. Vander Esch has a nice first half. He's not really blown it up this season yet. Give it time. Don't give up on Leighton Vander Esch.
He's getting more involved. I think he had an interception a week or two ago. I know he's been in on some pass defense, and I think they're going to get him more involved in rushing the quarterback as well.
Also, with Darius Leonard out, I don't have a lot of qualms about throwing Anthony Walker into the mix. He hasn't really put up anything special in the first couple games, but the Falcons, like I said, I think they can get up on
catching a lot of Devonta Freeman helmets.
Catching a lot of Freeman helmets. We haven't talked about Devonta Freeman yet, have we?
Shut up.
Sorry. But yeah, Anthony Walker, he's a good plug and play. You might even be able to get him off waivers. I think he's someone that can help your team in IDP leagues this week.
Speaking of IDP leagues, how about Tracy Walker?
Tracy Walker has looked good.
Number one defensive back right now in all of IDP. Probably available on your waiver wire if you don't have a real strong IDP league around you. Averaging 8 points a game. I mean, fire that guy up. And the only other IDP one I really want to hit on off the top of my head is Ronnie Harrison. 24 tackles and a sack in 3 weeks. I know they just played, but guys, go find Ronnie Harrison and get him on your team.
Yeah. Now Tracy Walker also, I mean, you can't overlook the fact that Tracy Walker had that hit single called Fast Car.
Shut up.
I mean,
I've never heard of this.
If you're just looking for somebody to play this week, you already talked about Darius Leonard, but they're saying Bobby, I don't know how to read. Okereke is going to start in place of him this week.
Okereke?
It's going to be just a spot start, of course, though.
Well, I mean, just saying, if you're looking for somebody to play this
You're
week.
right.
Are you trying to say it's okie dokie to start Okereke?
Okereke,
I need to go find Bobby Okereke because I've got an injury in a couple leagues.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's playable this week if you want to just stream a linebacker.
Darius Leonard's my damn injury.
There you go.
Man, I'm really screwed up by this Darius Leonard.
If we're in the same league, I'm going to go outbid you.
You know who I got to start because of Darius Leonard? I have to pick between...
Bobby Okereke?
No, I got to pick between Blake Cashman or Raekwon McMillan.
You better go pick up Bobby Okereke.
I should go find Bobby Okereke.
Man.
He's going to be a star.
I don't even know what to do.
You like Bobby Okereke, didn't you?
I love Bobby Okereke.
What a great name, by the way.
Okie dokie Okereke.
All right, we're going to go over to some sits, or are you just ready to just say fire up every defensive player for the Cowboys because there might be multiple touchdowns?
Let's go with some sits.
All right. My first sit's going to be Josh Jacobs. Minnesota has a top 10 defense against the run. As good as I think it's going to be an okay game, but it's going to be one in the air by either team.
Volume, I can't sit Josh Jacobs.
I absolutely can.
Yeah, I don't think he sees the volume to be startable this week. He's not going to see any in the air.
Yeah, so
which I mean,
Barker's not paying attention.
No.
Do you want to give one to Hux?
I want to talk about Devonta Freeman.
I'm sitting Joe Mixon this week.
Same.
That's my other one.
That's one of my top sits of the week.
I consider him a stud, but you don't normally sit your studs. But
Bill's defense is
is legit.
It is.
It's in Buffalo. I honestly think it could be a blowout, and I just don't think Mixon does anything.
I think it's going to be a blowout.
I hope so.
I mean, Mixon has looked like garbage this year.
Yeah.
I don't know about a blowout, but I just don't think Mixon's gonna. I don't think he's putting it together week 3. There's something. Watching the game tape of Mixon, it doesn't even look like he has the potential to get it done right now. Like I don't know what's going on.
He looks bad. He looks like all around bad.
Good.
I mean, the O-line's not good at all, but so I mean, I know that doesn't help, but yeah, he just hasn't looked good.
Can we say fire up Hollywood Brown as well? We already talked about it, but my God, and what's going to be a shootout? I try to.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I try to not keep reiterating players.
I know. I can't come off that one. That's going to be one hell of a game. I can't wait for Sunday.
Yeah, that is going to be a good game. I'm interested to see how much that really good Baltimore defense can contain the Chiefs' offense because you're not going to stop, especially at Arrowhead. But I mean, I'm wondering if they can contain them at all.
Going on sits, and this is more of a DFS play. I'm not ultra comfortable with Alvin Kamara this week.
I'm not either. I was looking at that game too. I'm not ultra comfortable with Chris Carson or Alvin Kamara. Like we don't know what to expect. We don't even know what the Saints are going to do.
Correct.
I think the only reliable player on the Saints is Michael Thomas right now. And I don't mean that for the whole season. I mean until we see what is going to happen. Kamara could have a massive game.
Absolutely.
He could have a dud, but we don't know until we see, one, who the quarterback is, and two, what style of game are they going to play without Drew Brees?
Yeah.
We don't know. Kamara could get a career high in touches.
Absolutely.
I mean, he could.
Or
A career low.
yeah.
We don't know.
I feel like if Teddy Bridgewater comes out and he's a starting quarterback, we'll just put an 8-man box up there. Call it a day. Do our best to shut him down. Like it's scary. I'm just not ready to roll him out this week.
I mean, are you sitting Kamara?
Only in DFS. You
Okay,
can't.
yeah,
in your season long, you absolutely can't.
Unless
You
you're-
never,
No.
ever sit your studs. Never.
No, no.
I mean,
you
unless
don't,
you're
you don't ever
absolutely
sit
loaded
McCaffrey.
at that position, then no.
Yeah.
Literally, the only time you sit your studs, like week 10, whenever the Bears have still allowed like one rushing touchdown. Okay, if a stud plays in that week, then you sit that stud, but you better have a damn good one in the backed up.
Yeah, I'll never sit McCaffrey. I'll never sit David Johnson. I'll never sit Saquon. I'll never sit Kamara. I don't care how bad. Like Joe Mixon, though. Joe Mixon's a guy that hasn't proved enough to me over the past couple of years to where he is a stud. I'm okay sitting him. There's all kinds of guys I'm okay sitting, but when it comes to top talent, it's like Aaron Rodgers. Unless you've got Patty Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or a guy that's just blowing the world up right now, you can't sit him.
Yeah.
No matter what they've done in 2 weeks,
No, 'cause,
you
I mean,
can't sit him.
Like Mixon, he's not.
Not elite.
He's he's up there, but he's not consistent. He doesn't give you that safe enough. He's not
Right.
safe enough floor.
Right.
Because I mean, Zeke or McCaffrey, they can have bad games and still give you enough points to be
80
productive.
yards and a touchdown.
Even
You're
James-
like, damn it. That's all
Even
you-
James Conner, I'm not sitting him because his floor is 10 points. Because he'll catch 4 balls for 40 yards.
Yeah.
He may only give you 40 on the ground, but you're probably getting 10 points. Mixon,
Yeah, you're not sitting Le'Veon Bell. You're not sitting those guys.
no,
I mean,
absolutely not.
But yeah,
You
I
might
agree.
want to consider if you've got a better option. Let's say you got Le'Veon Bell last off
I
season.
don't know if you would have to have one hell of a draft.
I know what I'm saying. If you got him last off season for your first rounder, right? Because someone was like, "I'm done with this bum," right? Because you had some other decent options. I'm not sure. Le'Veon Bell's the only player with talent on the Jets.
There we go. If you have Le'Veon Bell as your third best running back, let us know on Twitter,
No.
Facebook, something. I want to know. I just want to see. I'm not
It is
questioning you.
entirely possible for someone to have Le'Veon Bell and Dalvin Cook as their theoretical number 2 and number 3 running backs.
I agree 100%. I'm just wanting some interaction with the listeners, and I want to see who has that team makeup because I believe you're right. It's possible.
Let me ask you this. Realistically,
Yell
do you
at me.
think this is possible? Someone has, going back a couple years,
to back
Nick
you up.
Chubb, Le'Veon Bell, and Dalvin Cook. That's possible.
It is.
That's not just
Yeah,
possible. I
that's
mean, that's
possible.
And,
Or,
and looking at it at the beginning of last year, you're like, man, that's not really.
Or probably a little bit more likely combination of Dalvin, Austin Eckler, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. If I've
And
got Austin Eckler,
you're not sitting Eckler at all.
yeah,
No.
you sit Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
Yeah, in that situation, yeah. But like I said, you have to be loaded at running back to sit Le'Veon. He's all they got.
And it's hard to get loaded at running back these days.
All I'm saying is the Patriots are incredibly good at stopping. If you have one player that can hurt you, they will remove them from the game. Just make him completely obsolete. And I don't know if Le'Veon Bell is what he was, to where he was a complete game changer. By himself, could set
I
the
still
world on
think
fire.
he gets enough catches to be relevant.
Sorry to go in the opposite direction. I'm firing up Mike Evans this week. People have been scared. That's one of those studs that I think some people could overlook the whole start your studs thing, and people might be scared enough to sit Mike Evans. Don't do it this week.
Just don't sit your
Just
studs.
don't do it.
Well,
Just don't sit your studs. Let me ask you this: Mike Evans or Scary Terry?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Okay,
Scary Terry.
Mike. He's already played. I was gonna say Mike Evans, DJ Chark. He's already played.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
All right. Are you scared of any of the pass catchers for the Chiefs?
Ooh, I thought you were going to say Chargers because that's where I was going next. Sammy Watkins, I'm scared. Demarcus Robinson, I'm scared. There's no one on that team right now consistent enough. Tyreek Hill is the only start-your-stud candidate from that team for me. So
Travis Kelce.
Oh, yeah, but I was thinking wide receivers. I was getting ready to say Travis Kelce is primed for a big game, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think if you have Sammy, I think you start him. Unless you're... I don't know.
I see. I don't know, man.
Maybe you want to run a stack and start DeMarcus and Sammy. I don't know.
I never feel like Sammy Watkins is a sure thing for anything.
No.
So,
Could be a shootout, but you never know. It could be a low-scoring shootout. It could be one of those things where they move the ball down the field, but nobody can get in the end zone for a while. It's unlikely, but yeah, I'm just not comfortable enough with Sammy to be definitely starting him. So, and DeMarcus Robinson was a hot waiver pickup, but I'm not comfortable starting him either. I was trying to pick him up everywhere I could as depth with potential to be more than just depth, but I don't really believe in DeMarcus Robinson. See, that's the thing. That's the thing with Patrick Mahomes, man. He can take just about anybody. Like, if they brought in Michael Crabtree off the street instead of Arizona, Michael Crabtree could have a massive game for the Chiefs. You know, Patrick Mahomes can do that for you.
I just feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to have 5 receivers this year that are randomly going to have 150-yard games.
I don't know who the others would be, but
I think he's already had 3
Good.
or close. So Hardman he had over 100 last week, didn't he?
I don't know how.
Hardman,
I know he
Hill,
had
Sammy.
a good game.
They
but
both had over 100 last week. Him and Robinson both, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. I don't trust Hardman either. I mean, that's
No,
a
I mean, they're
stretch.
both, right now, they're both boom bust.
We've had questions, though, about who do you start, you know, so-and-so or so-and-so, and Hardman's
D'Anthony
been
Thomas is going to have a
conversation.
hell of a week. And then Byron Pringle is going to have a monster week the next week.
I thought they cut Pringle.
He's on our lad's depth chart.
But, you know, with Pringles, once you pop, you can't stop.
Boom.
So, sits. We've got to have a few more sits for sure. Keenan Allen for me. I know it's a start-your-stud league, but Mike Williams looked pretty good last week. I think Mike Williams is going to be the guy to start this week over Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has
no.
up and down weeks. He's had 2 up. I expect 1 down.
Man, I'm sticking with Keenan Allen.
Play
on
Keenan
this.
Allen. Don't sit him ever.
Listen to me.
I'm sitting every Chiefs running back this week.
I don't know. I'm comfortable rolling out Shady, but yeah, I can see that. You just don't know, I guess.
I
I'm
feel
not
like there's
comfortable with
too
Shady ever.
too much shutdown potential in that run game. I think they're going to score. I just don't think it's going to be in the ground.
I'm sitting Carlos Hyde this week.
I
mean, you might not be starting him anyways, but
probably not.
I think they're going to be playing from. I think that's going to be a really good game, and I think a potential really high scoring game against the Chargers. But I think they could be playing from behind. I think it's going to be more of a Duke Johnson game this week.
I'm sitting Frank Gore.
Hell, start Frank Gore.
No thanks.
I tell you who I am
No
sitting
thanks.
though.
80 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'm sitting Adrian Peterson. The Bears' defense is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
There's no reason. There's no reason to dip into the old AP bag.
And I've got Scary Terry on a couple of taxi squads still because I wasn't ready to fire him up after week 1. But then I'm like, all right, time to move him up to the big leagues and start him. And then I look at the week 3 game and it's against the Bears. I'm like, maybe he can stay on that taxi squad just one more week. I'm going to.
I got to promote him this week
I
because
will-
I lost Antonio Brown.
I will be benching Terry McLaurin, even though I'm real high on him all season.
Poor Antonio Brown owners. Den's in a bad place in our league of record right now.
He'll find a way.
He will. He always does. But
Yeah.
I'm sitting the Broncos running backs. There's no chance for them this week, in my opinion. That being said, I am absolutely comfortable firing up Emmanuel Sanders and Cortland Sutton. I think both of them will be fine in an effort to come back and try to beat the Packers. But running backs on the Broncos, no thanks. Like Huck said earlier, too much of a split there right now for me to be comfortable.
Too much of a split without the lead. I think that's our biggest problem right there. The team isn't that good. If they were up by 15 points in the third quarter and trying to work the clock for the rest of the game, it would be awesome. You could play both of them. But yeah, the fact that they're going to be in close games or behind consistently, I'll take a pass.
Anyone else?
I'll go with the sit on the defense side. I'm probably going to be sitting Bradley Chubb this week. I mean, I know he's a linebacker.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just another one of those quarterbacks get rid of the ball fast. I hate trying to predict a sack against a guy who gets rid of the ball super quick.
I'm just
Denver,
wondering- I'm just
Denver
wondering
does
who's-
not have a sack yet, I believe, in 2 games.
Oh, God.
Do
I'm
they
just
now?
wondering who's starting Bradley Chubb.
I'm sure there's several people because he's a name. But if you still have Bradley Chubb, even though he's a linebacker, you need to get rid of, or not get rid of him, excuse me, you need to bench him this week.
You can get rid of him.
Give another sit. Jarvis Landry. Odell Beckham's the clear go-to wide receiver in this offense. After that, Nick Chubb has been kind of growing more into a
What are your
focal
thoughts
point.
on Demetrius Harris there at tight end with Njoku out?
I like Demetrius Harris with
Big
Njoku
guy,
out.
6'7", former basketball player. I know he was a backup for the Chiefs, so he hasn't really had a chance.
Crazily, I'd be more game to start him in like DraftKings or FanDuel than
Yeah.
I would Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, I like him as a possible sneaky play in DraftKings this week.
No contrary play.
Worried about Landry right now. Odell Beckham just
Which they're Sunday night, aren't they?
they are, but
Yeah, so-
Jarvis Landry has never really had to compete for targets because there's never been anyone good enough to take him away from him. Now there is. Now Jarvis Landry's not producing through 2
Yeah, but
games.
the best thing about Baker Mayfield last year was how much he spread the ball.
Well, he's a great value God in the Minshew, so
So, I mean, I've got to believe. I mean, I still believe in Baker Mayfield. I got to believe that he's going to start spreading that ball, not just honing in on OBJ.
good question from Neil.
If they're gonna beat the Rams, they're gonna have to spread the ball around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question from Neil. He says, do you start Scary Terry or Sammy Watkins?
Shut up, Neil.
Sammy Watkins.
You got to go Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
He has the upside.
Man, that one makes my head hurt.
And
That is-
McLaurin's playing the Bears, so
Well,
Makes my head hurt.
okay, but Sammy Watkins playing the Ravens.
yeah, I know. But
Like, that's
I know.
The difference is
You're right.
Sammy Watkins does have Patrick Mahomes.
yeah.
Patty Mahomes.
Is Jimmy Smith playing this week?
Jimmy Smith of the Jaguars?
No. Of the Ravens.
No.
I almost spit beer all over the place when you said that. Because I was going to say, like, Jaguars, Jimmy Smith?
Yeah, I was excited for him. I was like, he's back. He's back.
He's only been retired for 15 years, but heck yeah.
That's why they call him Jimmy Smith.
All right, you got anything else
back.
you want to add?
No. I had too much fun talking about all the crazy crap going on in the league. Then it comes to sits and starts, and it's like,
You're trying to double start Devonta Freeman. Apparently, they're doubling down on
can we
him.
talk about Devontae Freeman? real
No,
quick?
he's not worth talking about.
No. All right. Well, I was okay. I was excited.
Jimmy Smith is not playing this week.
I think he's
Neither one of them.
retired. Oh,
Neither one of them.
all right. I thought he was retired.
So it's Sammy all day.
I
then.
mean, they still got Marlon Humphrey, but I mean, yeah.
somebody is
Play
going
Sammy.
to catch a hell of a lot of balls for Casey.
Like you said, maybe this is Kelsey's big week,
I think he
I
said
think
that.
it is.
or somebody said it. I don't know who said
I
that.
said D'Anthony
You
Thomas.
talk so much, I thought it was you.
I said D'Anthony Thomas or Byron Pickle or whatever the hell his name was.
Byron Pickle.
Pringle. Byron Pringle.
Pringle. You just pop, you can't stop. So, all right. Wow, Von Miller's a free agent in our league of record. Maybe he's who I need at linebacker for this week. Probably not.
Probably not.
Anyways, thanks for jamming with us once again. God, what's wrong with me tonight? Thanks for jamming with us.
You want to talk a little bit of DraftKings real quick?
Yeah, well, let's Huck talk.
I mean, I
some
know
DraftKings.
we're pushing it.
No, we're good. I'm gonna
Pushing it
My
real
God,
good.
we are pushing it. So, thanks for listening to the Back Row Fantasy Show. If you want to hear some DraftKings updates, Hux is going to bring that at you now. Me and Arms, we're getting muted. Hux, take it away.
Real quick, start with quarterback. Kind of similar to the sit starts we talked about, but I love Josh Allen this week at 5,900. With Singletary out, I think he's going to be more relied upon more. And I think people are going to lean towards Mahomes, Jackson, that game. I like Carson Wentz at 5,600, and I like Kyler Murray at 5,800. I'm fading Aaron Rodgers once again this week. With his price at 6,100, it's down from last week, but I think if I'm going to pay around him, I'm going with those lower guys, or I'm going all the way up to Mahomes or Jackson. Running back, love Austin Eckler this week at 7,200. Still don't think he's.
But what about? We talked about it earlier in the show. What about Dak? I mean, Dak for the value playing against Miami.
Unmuting. We ain't got time for this crap.
I'm just curious. I mean, are you taking Dak as a little bit cheaper play versus Lamar Jackson and Mahomes, but still a little bit more expensive than Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, I would play Dak over Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, that was just.
Yeah.
When you said I'm going to pay all the way up, I'm like, why go all the way?
I guess that's more of a preference for me, but if I'm going to pay up, I'm probably going all the way up to Mahomes.
Gotcha.
You actually unmuted me and not yourself.
Oh, I did?
Why go all the way? Because that's what kids do these days.
I'm sorry. I
what
thought
she said.
I figured you'd keep it in order here, Barker. My bad.
Oh, I'm number one.
You are number one.
I'm number one.
Well, hopefully it came through. Long story short, I was
Hopefully
asking
it
about
didn't.
Dak over Aaron Rodgers instead of going all the way up for Lamb Jacker at Mahomes.
I won't
Sorry.
mute us. I won't mute us. You can keep going.
No, sorry. Eckler at 7,200, just still too cheap for the volume he's getting. He's getting the volume of those top guys like Saquon, Zeke, McCaffrey at almost 2K cheaper. Play David Johnson this week. I like his matchup against Carolina. 6,800. I think he's going to have a bounce back week. I like LaShawn McCoy at 5K, especially with Damian Williams out. Anytime you can get a cheaper part of a guy with the Chiefs offense, that you roll him out. I'm fading Alvin Kamara this week at 8K, and that's mainly because of the price and the uncertainty at quarterback. But if I'm paying all the way up to 8K, I'm playing Dalvin Cook, I'm playing McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke, all them guys over Kamara. Wide receiver, I love Keenan Allen at his price at 7K. Galladay, I love that Lions-Eagles game. Calvin Ridley at 5,300 is, I think it's almost a lock play for me. Love his price this week. Him and Julio both. James Washington's my cheap play. I like at 3,500. I really think this is a breakout game for him. I'm fading Tyler Boyd at 6,500
How dare you?
against a great Bills defense, pass defense. Tight ends, you got some really good tight ends for pretty good price. Kittle 5,600, Ertz 5,700, Andrews 4,600, all playable. Probably won't be paying all the way up to Kelsey, who's by far the top tight end price wise. He's 1,400 more than Ertz, 1,400 or 1,500 more. And defense, just roll out Patriots, Dallas. If you want to go cheaper. I like the Seahawks as a cheaper defense to play this week. I don't mind the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, I don't mind the Steelers defense. I honestly think they beat the 49ers this week, and you can get Steelers defense at cheap. Some stacks. I like the Lions stack with Stafford, Galladay, even Hawkinson if you want to throw him in there. Wentz, you can pair him with a few different guys. Aguilar is going to be really popular this week just because of his price. He's cheap. I don't know, it's 3,600, 3,900, somewhere around there. That's all I got.
Hey. Always good DFS
Hucks,
info.
all you do is talk.
All you
I
do is
swear.
talk.
Sorry.
Hucks, all day long.
I should have sat over here
Hucks,
with Bark
talk,
like-
talk.
Probably
Yeah.
could have done
We
about
do.
10 more minutes of ums.
You want to tell us more?
Hey, me and Arms were bad with the ums when we first started before we became professional
Yeah,
experts.
totally professional.
Yeah, now we're
Super
professional
pro.
experts. We don't do the ums anymore, but
Yeah.
it takes a while. It took us, 100 episodes to quit the ums.
Yeah,
You know,
felt like it.
You got a bad case of the ums, you got a bad case of the ums. It happens for a while. Once you get knee deep into this show, the ums will go
You know,
away.
the best part about it is
And then you'll sound like arms because you won't ever quit effing talking.
you
I'll just stick with the ums.
it'll just stop one day, but you gotta be called out on it because you don't realize
love
you
it.
do it until you're called out on it.
Well, we're looking at a 3-hour show. It was more like a 2-hour show. So that'll make Bauer happy. He said he wishes the show was 3 hours, even though he
I
thinks
know you're
most
wanting to
listeners-
wrap this up, but you never got to that listener to league question about the running back handcuffs, like you said you would at the end of the
Son
show.
of a bee.
Just throw a couple out real quick.
Son of a bee.
a-
Malcolm Brown is a running back handcuff that I'm high on. Daryl Henderson, for that matter, too. If Todd Gurley starts having complications, I love owning those backups. Chase Edmonds in Arizona, I think, is one of the best running back handcuffs to own right
I
now.
like Benny Snell in Pittsburgh.
Is it Snell or Samuels? It's-
I
You
think
guys still
risky.
haven't said the number one handcuff. Alexander
ahead.
Madison, Minnesota.
He's a
The
good
running
one.
back is not struggling. That was the part of the question.
Right.
These stars
Did
that
it?
are struggling a little bit.
I
Raquel
didn't-
Armstead, I think you
They're
could go with.
yes.
I didn't see the struggling part.
Yeah.
But going off Dalvin's injury history, Madison is a must-own handcuff.
I mean, I feel like we should be starting to look at someone in Cincinnati at this point.
Nah, I don't know.
There
about
is
that.
nobody.
Yeah,
in
I don't
Cincinnati.
know.
No, there isn't.
Rashad Penny's a good handcuff to own just because I'm not a Carson believer. I know he's pretty good, but I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable owning him without Penny. I'm not.
I agree.
Just 100% not. Rojo, honestly, Peyton Barber is just so damn average. At some point, they're going to have to just give Rojo more of a look just to see if they need to draft a guy next year. Simply to see if they need to draft a guy next year. Mike Davis, if David Montgomery keeps rolling a little slowly out of the gate, I think Mike Davis is someone that I wouldn't mind owning on a team if I have the roster space. And I think that's pretty much it for handcuffs behind struggling running backs. I mean, David Montgomery, I think, is only struggling because he's a rookie
So,
adjusting to the game.
Carlos Hyde or Duke Johnson at this point?
It's Duke for me. I don't want
Hyde's
just
look good.
I know,
Hyde's
but
look good. Yeah.
he has, but I don't want just the 60 yards a game. You know, I want a
I think he
higher
was 88
ceiling.
last week.
What the hell ever. Hyde is never going to give you that big game that wins you a week, but
Gotcha.
Duke can.
I see what you're saying there.
To me, he can. So that's all I got as far as those running back handcuffs go. One more, Ty Johnson. C.J. Anderson was cut by the Lions this week. I like Carry On. I'm not saying Carry On is not going to be just fantastic, but Ty Johnson's a guy with rookie status that's currently the backup that the Lions like a lot, who I love having on my taxi squad in case Carry On happens to go down. I really like Ty Johnson.
And, of course, Damien Harris.
He's definitely a taxi squad addition.
Another
one that I like a lot because Sony Michel's risky in the same way that Gurley's kind of
Correct.
risky.
Like that's probably your highest upside play right there. Like if you
Happy Hux.
if you've got
Yep.
him,
Just didn't want our listeners to feel left out.
I appreciate that because
Yeah.
I hate not answering a question. So
way to
the
call him
fact
out,
that-
Hux.
Yeah, thank
Hey,
you.
You know,
I appreciate it. That's
what I do.
The Glue. Can you change your name to the Glue back row?
I will if you want me to.
D.A.
That's anonymous.
Duh Glue. No, not really. You don't have to do that.
I mean,
your last name is a privilege to be able to say.
I
I spell
though
with
I have
an X in my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though I
It's
have
like
most
Ed-
people do.
Hux with an X to the Z. Ah!
even though I have a friend named Brian Hicks, and my autocorrect sometimes wants to call you one and him the other. Brian Hicks, Brian Hux, what the... Thanks for listening to the Back Row Fantasy Show. Barks out.
Good night.
See you.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.